Atop a throne of skulls.
Welcome, my friends, to this clan war. So we're taking it back to the old school of RTS gaming. We're going to be going in with an old school clan war. Should be quite a bit of fun. Today we have AIMA facing off against QSA. And I have to tell you guys, we're going to be opening up with quite an intense match here. Actually, a rematch from the ever-chosen Invitational. So it should be quite a bit of fun. So let me plug in my laptop real quick as the battery just died and I can't see chat, which is a damn shame. You know that, my internet trolling me a little bit today, but it seems like the lag is past. I waited about 20 minutes before I started the stream, and it seemed good, but a couple little hiccups. Let's hope for the best. Granted, it's something that many of us Total War aficionados are used to, is lag in our games, right? So yeah, we'll see how it goes. So first match of the day is going to be King of the Dead playing the Tomb Kings, of course, his signature faction, and he's going to be facing off against none other than the two-time ever-chosen champion Talaxla Soothsayer. Is it 2 times or is it 3 times? I think it was 2. Okay, so he won. Yeah, I think it was 2. He's been in the... No, 3? Is it 3? Man, it might be, actually. I mean, he only lost once to Aerocrastic. And the other ones he won... Yeah, he pretty much cleaned up shop, I think, in all the other ones. I can't even remember, but maybe somebody in chat can help me who didn't just wake up 20 minutes ago. So we're going to be going in with our first match of the day. I'll let the players know I am ready by starting up here. And also send them a message here in chat. So let me go ahead and do that first. Let's party. Go time. So Tomb Kings versus Norska, pretty fun matchup. I have a feeling that, I don't know, I wonder if Sooth is going to try and go like for the monster fight using like mammoths and frostworms and things like that, or if he's going to go for the more kind of conservative steady style of play, which is using like javelins and kind of just wearing them down over the course of a battle. It'll be interesting to see. Thank you guys all so much for joining today. I will be getting chat up here in just a second, and my laptop has been resurrected. We're back in action as we jump right into our first match of this glorious clan war. And yeah, I'm really eager to see Sooth's build, because I kind of have a build I'd like to bring against these, big construct heavy factions that have a lot of big monsters, but I'm curious if he's going to use javelins. Javelins, of course, don't really have, the best AP values, but nonetheless, they still do, of course, have an anti-large bonus and pretty good arcs of fire. They're like very direct, a little bit hard to dodge, and I usually think they pay for themselves. Hey guys, what's up? We got fans of both clans here in chat. This is good. So how it's going to be in terms of format, we're going to have 7 matches today. So there's going to be 6 1v1s if I'm not mistaken, and then 1 2v2 at the end. And it's best of 1. So each of these players is going to be playing once, and then they rotate in with another clanmate. So, each player in the clan gets a chance to play, which is quite a bit of fun. Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. Let's go Tomb Kings. Let's go Sooth. We got fans of both players in here. This is good. And the first map is going to be Eschen, relatively open field map, so it's certainly going to be something that you could see like Ushopti Great Bows and other things like that. I mean, there's not many places for the Norskins to hide from Great Bows, and that kind of is a pretty standard way to play against Norska, is using Great Bows and just kind of a defensive posture. Great Bows are very, very good against, pretty much all the Norskin monsters. Good against Frostworms, good against Mammoths, pretty solid against Fimir as well, even though Fimir do have some missile resist with the From the Mist ability, but it's still really, really good. Granted, Tomb Kings can also play Monster Mash if they want, and it looks like that's what King of the Dead has opted to do. So, if you take a look at King's forces, he does have the Sphinx of Sect here, which is great. Anti-large, armor piercing, it does fire damage, and as you guys know, there are a couple units on the Norskin roster that do take extra damage from fire. So this bad boy certainly can carry his weight here. On top of that, 2 groups of skeleton chariots, which I like. It looks like King is covering his bases, right? He has anti-large here with Cetra, plus the other Sphinx. In Cetra, even though it doesn't say bonus first large, if you guys take a look here at the Dejaf's incantation of Cursed Blades, it doesn't say anti-large here, but if you overcast the spell, a lot of people don't know this, and I didn't know this for the longest time. If you overcast this, it actually gives your character bonus first large as well, so Cetra can pretty much just become an anti-large powerhouse. So it looks like there's going to be a Wonder Woman here as well, a Necrotect, going to be dropping Restore. Frontline is going to be Tomb Guard, actually, and Tomb Guard can hold their own against Norskin Chaff. I mean, they do lose to Berserkers, but for the most part, they hold. They have high melee defense, and, they don't give too many shits. On top of that, we do have a couple Chariots and the Hakara Horsemen to kind of plug up the flanks, and that's pretty much it. It's going to be a Monster Mash, for sure. And for the build of Soothsayer, which I'm very interested in, guys, take note, Soothsayer is by far one of the best players in the community, so if you guys are looking for builds in a specific matchup, just watch him play. You won't be disappointed. All right, on top of that, we do have Marauders here, Marauders across the entire front. We got Berserkers here in the secondary line, and it looks like the Berserkers are going to be saturated by Fimir Warriors with Great Weapons, so very much a blitz build. And as far as the monster fight goes, I think that is going to slightly favor King of the Dead. I mean, he has the Sphinx plus Cetra facing off against Wolfric. However, I'm just talking about monsters. When you mix in the Great Weapon Infantry here, or I guess Great Infantry we could call them, from Tlaxel and Soothsayer, Fimir Warriors with Great Weapons will most certainly take these big targets to Pound Town. So, I don't know, hard to say. And I mean, I think the infantry fight is going to go to Sooth as well. Granted, the chariot play is really going to be, it depends on how good he is with the chariots, right? If the chariots can avoid the Miststalkers and these various Fimir units, they can do a ton of damage. But yeah, it really depends on King's play. On top of that, we got a Balefiend over here, a Fimir Balefiend with fire. Fireball, always a solid pick. And it looks like there is going to be a flaming skull, and the last spell is going to be Cascading Fire Cloak. Good stuff. So let's see how this goes. So the forces of the Tomb Kings probably going to be advancing. I think both players are going to advance. I don't think there's going to be any games or schemes here. The Fimir Balefiend is going to be popping his Arcane Conduit, channeling the winds of magic into himself, and preparing to launch a glorious Fireball in the face of Cetra the Imperishable. I'm sure Fireball, of course, a very, very powerful spell. I do think it could get a little bit of a tune down in terms of a couple things. I don't know if maybe it's accuracy or it's damage, but either of those, I feel like it can be really punishing in some matchups. Like, if you bring like a non-armored lord, like, or someone who's lightly armored, man, or any like Ark in the Black or those type of characters, they just get nuked out. Anyways, here in the front line, Hakara Horsemen are going to be swooping in, going in, but Soothsayer ain't going to be taking that for free. You can see he pulls back his infantry, he charges in the Fimir, and the first Fireball is going to be set off, and it looks like it's going after... What is it going after? Oh, it's going after the Necrotect. It's a good choice. Necrotect is lightly armored, but King of the Dead is able to dodge that just barely. That is a really big play, because that would actually take him down to like 60%. And then from there, Sooth could get like 1 or 2 more Fireballs, and that would be, just a dead Necrotect right away, which is pretty big. So fighting is still going here. Chariots for the Tomb Kings going to be Tokyo drifting here, but I don't... Oh, are we going to have a chariot battle? Oh, the Marauder chariots are going to collide. A chariot battle would be so hilarious. Oh my god. But anyways, guys, you guys can probably see that Sooth is very, very good at making sure that nothing gets given up for free. The Miststalkers and these other troops are going to be screening, making sure that the Chariots can't come in there and just do as they please. Very solid play there. So it looks like there's going to be another Fireball overcasted, I think. Yeah, Fireball's coming downtown. It's going to be going after the Necrotech, so we'll see if Wonder Woman can dodge this fireball once again, and it does not look like it. So the fireball comes in. I mean, look at that. That's not cool. I mean, that's like half health on that thing. I don't know. Yeah, that's just so gross. Half health on this character just from like a 4 or 5 Winds of Magic spell. It's pretty crazy stuff. Anyways, chariots for the Tomb Kings are finally going to be engaging here. So Sooth looks like he does let some of these Marauders take a little bit of a pounding. Granted, he might be countercharging with the Famir, but nonetheless, that's pretty good value from King if he can get those chariots back before the Famir are able to come in there and start clubbing them. So the battle is, pretty good skirmishing here. But again, Wonder Woman has taken about half health and HP and doesn't really have an efficient way of healing. And you can see the Skeleton Spears are going to be turning up to get ready for the Famir. And it looks like the Norscan forces is going to be squaring up on the high ground and collapsing inward. So this Tomb King's formation here of like Spears and other troops here on the flank is really going to just get mulched. On top of that, another Fireball coming in. So the Famir Balefiend, however, he does overcast it, which, is going to hurt him a little bit. So he's going to be taking a bit of damage there, which is nice for the King of the Dead. However, the Necrotect here is, oh man, look at that brutal stuff. Just negative 40 leadership. Going to be crumbling now, but we do have a big monster fight over here on the flank. So we have Setra the Imperishable, and we do also have the Sphinx of Uthek here, which is going to just be going in deep and fighting the Miststalkers. And this is actually a pretty good engagement for the Tomb Kings. Granted, once these other big elements get here, it's not going to be so good. So the Famir Warriors with great weapons have piled in. And I would say the Tomb Kings have done their damage here. It's probably time to pull back, but Setra actually gets caught by the Hunter of Champions. So the Hunter of Champions from Wulfric, very, very good stuff. Lowering the speed, lowering the armor, and making it very, very tough for Setra to get away from these high-mass monsters. The mainline fighting's underway as well, and Wonder Woman is getting in there, but it looks like the Pirate Ship of the Gods is going to be going down the formation. Very good cast there, able to take about 25% HP off those Tomb Guards, so solid stuff coming in from Talaxtal and Soothsayer, the ever-chosen champion, but King of the Dead, maybe. Oh, is this going to be a Burning Skull? Oh, the Burning Skull coming down, burning through the witches, slamming through the ditches. Most certainly not going to be fun, as you can see that those Tomb Guard get cooked up pretty good. So Sooth, I would say, is in a pretty good position right now, and you can see the bounce bar does reflect that. Setra's taken a beating, the Necrotect is almost dead. And I would imagine from Sooth right now, we're going to be getting another Fireball here in a moment to probably finish off this Necrotect. So as far as what King has left as it pertains to infantry, he's got Tomb Guard, he's got a couple Spears here. His chariots are in okay shape, but for the most part, they've really been tangled up in a pretty messy pit fight here. And what really needs to happen for King of the Dead is he's kind of losing the mainline fight. The Norskins are just plowing through his troops. Berserkers will kill Spears. He needs to get a pick. He needs to get something like, taking out Setra, taking out the Balefiend, maybe finding a group of Famir and 2v1ing them with his big, big old constructs here. But I don't know if Sooth is going to let that happen. So Wulfric's going to be coming in, and Wulfric is a pretty powerful duelist himself. Yes, the Mammoth is bone. Oh, Fireball. Oh, man, and he dodges it just barely. No, it doesn't look like he does. I think it clipped him and did some pretty good damage. So 71 HP. I mean, I can't believe it's still stable in terms of leadership. But yeah, that Necrotect is going to be going down and will most certainly not be getting its money's worth. Although it could drop a Restore on Setra right now, which would be quite good. So the battle is still in the favor of Sooth, but it's certainly still anyone's game. It's still up in the air here, but the Berserkers are chewing through the flank here. King of the Dead does have a couple chariots left. The Dark Lord of No Control Groups. So for anyone who's, in that society of the No Control Group society, King of the Dead is most certainly your hero. Over here, Setra the Imperishable going to be falling back, and it looks like the Mammoth coming in to pursue, but it's a little bit caught up in the infantry, and the Sphinx of Uthek here is going to be coming in for a countercharge, which could be quite good. So here comes the big old Sphinx, going to be pushing in, and is it going to get the damage? No, it looks like Wulfric is going to get away. That Mammoth is quite swift, but the Sphinx is, hot on its tail. Something else about the standard Famir is they can be terror routed as well. So there is a chance that the big, kind of a Tomb King's monsters could terror out some of those guys, but for the most part, I think that the Norskins are still in a pretty good position. Marauders are in okay shape, and I think all the Famir, with the exception of maybe one group, are still going. Oh, and the Hunter of Champions, but the Curse goes down as well, so the Curse hits everything. So essentially, Tomb King's Lords, for anyone who's new to the game, when they get below a certain threshold, they drop a Curse, like the Curse of the Mummy. It goes off nearby, does damage, and, different curses do different things. But this one's going to be doing pretty good damage on this big blob of Norskins here, so very good play there from King. And King still does have the Sphinx. I mean, I don't know if that was intentional, but it ended up being a good play for King. So the Sphinx here, probably going to be going after some of the Famir. I think that trying to snipe out Wulfric at this point is going to be very tough with his buffering. So I think what King should probably start doing is grabbing both of his Sphinxes here and just going after the Famir. Break those guys. Famir don't really have good leadership. It's one of their big weaknesses, right? So go and snipe the Famir and then isolate Wulfric in the endgame, because Wulfric will lose very badly against the Sphinx of Uthek here. It's an anti-large specialist, one of the best duelists in the game, and it can certainly do some work. But it looks like King he's a little bloodthirsty. He's going to be going back here, trying to just bull rush from the Famir, or excuse me, Wulfric the Wanderer here, but the Famir are going to be piling in as well and should be able to do some okay damage. I mean, it's still a close game for sure. Now, as far as chariots go, looks like Talaxon Soothsayer still has a chariot. So that's going to be able to kind of crumble all these infantry very quickly. The King Nikesh's Scorpion Legion here, though, is just an invaluable resource, just an absolute MVP. Holding on here, doing a very good job buffering this line, because without those guys, these big old constructs of the Tomb Kings would be fully surrounded. So Cetra has 3.1k HP, the Sphinx has 6.4. Wulfric has taken about 1,500 damage since we last looked, but I just don't think that these constructs are going to be able to kind of grind through all these Famir and Wulfric. I mean, that is so much meat to get through. On top of that, Norscan chariots are going to be slamming into the back of these King Nikesh's Scorpion Legion. And yeah, they're going to be going down quickly. They're negative 34 leadership. They're crumbling. Things are not looking good for those guys. And the Famir are still going. Now, there is a chance for a terror route. The terror route could be quite strong here. However, the Miststalkers will not be terror routed because they themselves cause terror. And that's also another caveat for newer players. If something causes terror, it means it can't be terror routed itself. So essentially, like trolls, for example, cause fear. So they're immune to fear. But trolls do not cause terror, so the trolls can be terror routed. So it's something to kind of take note of. In the middle here, the Sphinx is going to be trying its best to fight. Still has a little bit of a puncher's chance, as they say, but I think it's going to be getting grinded down here. I think that the Miststalkers and these other troops are going to be able to kind of surround this bad boy, and it's only going to be a matter of time before he gets caught in a bad situation. The Jaff's incantation of Cursed Blades has been conjured by Cetra the Imperishable, giving weapon damage and armor-piercing strength here to this big old Sphinx, but I just don't think he's got it what it takes. I mean, look how pissed off this Mammoth is. And Wulfric, like, yeah, as if he's doing anything. He's literally just been sitting in that chair. But you know what? That's cool. He's the boss. He's earned his right. He's dueled the biggest of them. So here on the ground, you can see the Sphinx Usef here is going to be taking a lot of damage. Hunter of Champions going down on Cetra, and that's going to be triggering army losses. I mean, that makes Cetra so squishy. It lowers the armor, defensive stats, all kinds of goodness. Cetra's going to be going down, and the Sphinx is now disintegrating, which means the battle's pretty much over. It's the equivalent of army losses for undead factions. And there goes the big old Sphinx. Down you go, sweet prince. The Mammoth reigns supreme, and Talaxon Soothsayer draws first blood for Clan QSA. Great battle. Next patch, nerf Soothsayer. That was actually a really good game, though. I mean, King did a great job. It was a good fight. It wasn't like a quick stomp, you know? That one took its time and had a lot of cool nuances, I would say. So first blood has been drawn for QSA here in this battle. And next, we get the next set of players, which, let me go ahead and check. It's going to be Mantis versus Fly on the Bread. Good stuff, good stuff. GG. Cheers, likewise, good luck, and have fun. All right. Next. Next up. Chaos Prevails. Norska. Norska is pretty heavy metal, for sure. Norska is very, very heavy metal, my friends. All right, the next players are going to be joining here. So the clan leaders are going to be shuffling them on in. Look at that. I'm actually getting notifications for my streams now in my own email. Like before I wasn't getting those, but maybe YouTube's changed something. That's kind of cool. How do you... Now, this is actually something to talk about here. How do you guys get notifications when I stream? Do you... Most of you guys just see it like on the YouTube pane when you're like on there, it'll like you'll see the little like red kind of a broadcast sign on the left-hand side of your subscription bar? Or is it something that like goes to your email and you get notifications? I'm actually quite curious how most people come across the stream. Yeah, we'll see. So the Mantis is going to be joining next. The Mantis, man. And that's another thing I wish was a little bit easier in Total War was like, you know, getting people into lobbies. It can be a little bit of a tricky thing for sure. Why does it say the stream is complete? That's very, very strange. I mean, I don't think it's dropped or anything. No. It's dropped a couple frames. A little bit of lag, but hopefully it's just in between games, yeah. I see the bitrate struggling, but it climbs back up usually pretty quick here, so. I think we're A-okay, my friends. So the Mantis is here, and his opponent, Fly on Bread, that was pretty quick. They got in here fast. Solid organization by these glorious clan leaders. In the next battle, let's go ahead and put it on the Iron Sand, or Angui. Let's do Angui. That'll be fun. I get emails and bell notifications. Yeah, for those of you guys that click the bell, it's probably really direct. The pop-up in the bottom right, okay. I just saw a pop-up in my recommended section. See it in subscriptions. Open YouTube, see the stream. Okay, this is cool. Yeah, thank you guys for your feedback on that. It's quite helpful. I purely see it. Discord tells me. The old Twitter alerted me. All right, all right. Thanks, guys. Do appreciate it. That feedback is actually quite helpful. It is quite helpful indeed. So thank you guys so much for your help there. And it looks like the head Mantis is going to be facing off against the Fly on the Bread. Pretty great names from these players here. Johnny Dingles coming in hard. Got notifications on just for you, Big Chatty. Johnny Dingles, thank you, man. I almost said Johnny Dangles, but Johnny Dingles is quite good. So it looks like in the second match between AIMA and QSA, it's going to be... so I need to change this. Yeah. Oh, man. Okay, they're on the right sides. This is good. I don't need to change the scoreboard. It's going to be the Last Defenders, led by Karke, facing off against the Filthy Beastmen, who shall be led by QSA Fly on Bread. Is it Fly on the Bread? It's Fly on the Bread. I thought it was Fly on Bread, but Fly on the Bread works. The voices in your head let you know, that's good, Draclor. You know, I'm glad that works out for you, you know? To each their own. I'm not judging, man. I ain't judging. But Johnny Dingles, thank you so much for the very generous donation. As we carry forth into this glorious clan war, round 2, who will be drawing second blood? And as a matter of fact, speaking of first and second blood and all that good stuff, Rambo's coming out soon. The new Rambo movie. I'm quite excited on September 20th. And King Adjazal, thank you so much for the 20, man. Or for the 2, sorry. Thank you so much, man. Oh, man. Okay, I was just making Streamlabs up. So yeah, the king of the... cream of the crop rises to the top. Randy Savage all day. Thank you so much. Hey, look at that. Hamsa was able to actually make a GIF for this match. Not a GIF, but using the avatars. And Marathi, the Phoenix Queen. Oh, quite a bold statement. From Poland. Honor your queen, Drucci. On the side note, Teklis is... oh my god. That's pretty funny, dude. Marathi, thank you for the 25 Zlatis. Dziękuję, my friend. I hope everything is bardzo good for you and life is treating you well. Thank you, man. What is the advantage of picking the Last Defenders? There is none. There's absolutely no advantage to be had. It just looks cool. You know, he's a man of style, and I mean, he can use pretty much all the, you know, he just can't use Mazdamundi and you know, some of the other lords. So, yeah, I mean, it's not a big deal. There are some sub-factions that are very punishing, like, you know, Nagarath, for example, like you can't pick Alariel and things like that, but in this case, it's not terribly bad. Yeah, if anything, it's more of a disadvantage. Yeah, it basically just says you're picking Krokar or a generic Source Old Blood, but you can also, I think you can also still pick the Slan. So I mean that's fine, really. I mean, it's even a bit of a mind game because people might prepare for. Okay, so here's the advantage: if you pick the Last Defenders, you might be putting the idea in your opponent's head that Krokar is going to be out there, and then they counterpick Krokar, and you come in with something else. It's kind of like a mind game type thing. Yeah. I hear the rains down in Africa. I'm gonna start battle. Oh, are they waiting for me or something? I'll say ready, as if that matters. You know, honestly, no, I'm not really following politics too much in this country. Yeah, States, no. To answer your question, Hamsa. More focused on my work and my lovely wife and all that good stuff. So Samuel Steed says, Turin, for your first Hunter in the Beast vid, can you do the dreaded double dread? Oh my god. I don't know, maybe. Something to think about. I mean, eventually when the DLC comes out, you guys will be seeing that at some point, I'm sure. BR says, I will be disappointed if I don't see all Temple Guard and Krakgar on foot. I like the spelling of Krakgar there. Thank you for the $5, BR. Much appreciated, man. That song is so contagious. Like, if I start singing Africa by Toto, like, I bet you, like, a good, like, 25% of people in chat will, like, kind of hum it in their head or, like, start thinking about it. It's one of those songs that's just so contagious. Hand of the Gods, yeah. Oh, that's really nice of Air. Yeah, Air's a great guy. I actually got to meet him at an event. And an interesting story about Air of Carthage. Well, I don't know if it's that interesting, but he's the reason I started doing YouTube, actually. Yeah, in the beginning. Like, I didn't have a YouTube channel. I was working a full-time job, and I remember it was I started my YouTube channel like a week or two after Total War Warhammer came out, but I was at my office, and I fired up Air of Carthage's channel, and I was watching some of his replays, like, dude, this looks so awesome, like, man, this game looks great. So he hooked me on the game, firstly, by showing me the gameplay, and then secondly, I kind of saw what he was doing and, like, how he was casting, and, I just was like, yeah, I want to give it a try. It could be fun. Like, this guy looks like he's having a great time, so... yeah, so Air of Carthage is the reason I started my YouTube channel. So a little bit of a fun fact. He's a great guy. Why do you do this to us, Turin? I hear the rains down in Africa. Oh, man. It's so catchy. I would play it on stream, but like my stream would get demonetized. It's going to take a lot to take me away from you. Yeah. Now, enjoy, guys. Enjoy having that song stuck in your head all day. I'm trying to think of another one. Air is the father to us all. Yes. That's all we're getting in chat. Oh my god, I'm sorry, guys. Do not doubt, heretic, rejoice, for you have been chosen by the hammer. May the gods sort you out there. Misha's just ruthless. The lovely Lady Turin is here. I thought she went to go get some coffee, but perhaps she's on her phone. I bless the rains down in Africa. That's right. Okay, so I got the words. I got the words. Oh, we got Mr. Toto in chat. We have to, you know, manage time. We got to manage time somehow, right? While the players pick their armies. Now what? Now guys, work with me here. What's another... the rah Rasputin, lover of the Russian king or queen. Yeah, that song is so catchy, man. That's an old school song, dude. The rah Rasputin one. I'm from California. Yeah, United States. Somebody once told me the world was gonna roll me. I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed. She was looking kinda dumb with her finger in her thumb in the shape of an L on her forehead. Dude, that song is so great. Oh man, that brings back nostalgia memories. I remember going to pool parties in the 90s and just like being like a 10-year-old jamming out to that song. It's so good. Yeah. All right. Yeah. And you know what else? Sugar Ray. You guys remember Sugar Ray? Yeah. Yeah, the Sugar Ray was really kind of one of those catchy things too. Rando Howard, thank you for the 20, man, for Africa. Oh, Rando, coming in hot with the $20 donation. Yeah, it was Bonnie M was the one who sang that. That's right. Rando, thank you for the 20, man. That's very generous of you. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the karaoke today. I mean, I'm not really singing, I'm more just kind of talking the words out, but you guys get the picture. I said, hey, what a concept. I could use a little change myself, and we could all use a... It's so good. All right, what was a really catchy song from what's that? Oh, from Sugar Ray. Oh, yeah, I'm not a singer by any stretch of the imagination. Is this the real life? Or is this just fantasy? Caught in a landslide, no escape from reality. Open your eyes, look up to the skies and see. I can't do the high notes, I'm sorry guys. I can do okay on part of it, but for the most part, you know. He's just a poor Turin from a poor family. Oh man, you guys are killing me. Okay, guys, I'll do more Haggard karaoke between games, but for the most part, I gotta focus on the armies here. Oh man, look at this photograph. Every time I do it makes me laugh. All right, no more, I'm done. All right, so for the army of Head Mantis, the champion, one of the champions of AIMA. It looks like in the front line, it's going to be skink cohorts, and there's going to be 2 javelins on the flanks. The javelins are a very good choice against beastmen, obviously, if they're going to be skirmishing with centaurs, the throwing axes, other tools like that. These skink cohorts with javelins can actually counter skirmish pretty well and do some pretty good damage, so yeah, good stuff. I can't do high tones, no, it's not possible. In the secondary line, it looks like Head Mantis is going to be going with a bunch of spears. So he has Saurus spears, and they're a good choice as well. I mean, centaurs, minotaurs, and they have good enough combat stats to fight against, like, you know, beastmen infantry for the most part, because beastmen infantry actually have relatively low melee defense. So the low melee attack on the Saurus Spears isn't going to be too punishing. On top of that, in the last row, he does have a lot of anti-large. Man, Head Mantis coming in deep with these guys. He's got Temple Guard, a Feral Carnosaur. It looks like a Red-Crested Skink Chief who's actually a surprisingly good duelist. You wouldn't think so, but if this guy does use the Warrior's Crest, he's going to be able to get melee attack and melee defense and do some pretty solid work. On top of that, we do have a Skink Priest with Heavens. Going to be dropping Wind Blast. Wind Blast is just a great spell. I mean, it's better against tightly packed formations, and Beastmen do have a lot of loose formations, but still, against like Bestigors and Elite troops, it can do quite a bit of work. And Curse the Midnight Wind. Last but not least, Head Mantis does have Colden Riders, obviously pretty self-explanatory. You know, they're going to be able to punch through troops. However, he didn't go for the anti-large variant, which is interesting, but still, they should be pretty good against infantry and other troops like that. Yeah, put me singing as your ringtone. Do the Elvis. I'll do some Elvis after this game. I know, I should sell these as ringtones. People should pay the troll toll for them. All right, guys. Here on the far side, it looks like Centaurs with throwing axes. Also a very good choice against dinos. Again, a little bit vulnerable against the cohorts and things like that, but they can kite the Lizardman Heavy Cav into the Shadow Realm. They have 84 speed, plus when their Frenzy's active, I think it's closer to 90. And yeah, they can kite Colden Riders. They can get the throwing axes on the big dinos, and you can see here this dino's doing a little bit of a dance over there. And for the rest of the Beastmen army here in the front line, you can see that there's Destroyers of Dracwald, Ungor Spearman herds, a lot of bacon. So the bacon is kind of the metagame right now for the Beastmen, right? However, I think that over here, Head Mantis is pretty well prepared for this. Like his entire army is like Spears and Temple Guard. I mean, the not the Squigs, but the Skinks are going to get punished pretty bad, but for the most part, they should be good. Vestigor herds here to punch through Temple Guard. The Vestigor herds are probably going to be one of the bigger saving graces for this army. They're going to perform very well against Sora Spears as well as Temple Guard for the cost, so I like that quite a bit. The Eye of Warsleep, very good against Temple Guard, and you know, a decent presence with Warp Gaze. And on top of that, we have a Gorble, and it looks like on the far side, Malagor the Dark Pigeon. Going to be coming in with Vile Tide to make sure that all of his troops are fresh and healthy. Well, not healthy, but fresh. If you guys take a look at the passive here, I believe he probably does have that. No, he doesn't have it actually, but this one, yeah, just does some damage. You can kind of chip away at it. Oh, you know who can sing pretty well is Professor Pone. Oh man, Blink 182, don't get me started. And then Sum 41. Oh my god. My childhood's coming in the stream. It's happening. Oh man, it's happening. So that's pretty much it. As far as the analysis, throwing axe is going to be pretty good against the big dinos. I think the biggest threat for the beast people is going to be the Feral Carnosaur plus the Red Crested Skink Chief. Because, I mean, the only anti-large the Beastmen really have that's like true dedicated anti-large is going to be the Gorble and the Man Rippers. But the thing about the pigs, the Razorgore herds, is they can actually take down bigger targets. I mean, it's not like super efficient, but they still can. And that's one of the reasons why Razorgores are such a popular pick. They can hammer front lines pretty aggressively with their big charge bonus of 46. That's pretty big for like a non kind of heavy cav unit. So they can get in there, they can run over front lines, and then from there they can really kind of surround some of those big constructs and things like that. So, yeah, a little bit of lag. Sorry about that, guys. Nothing I can do. It's just the stream being a troll. My internet service provider is quite terrible. For some godforsaken reason, we pay so much for it too. Are the players waiting for something? Oh, they are. No need to wait for me, guys. Just get in there and have some fun. Hopefully the lag is past. And we can focus on this glorious battle here today. Between AIMA and QSA. Looks like AIMA's ahead though right now, or not AIMA, but QSA's ahead. Talaxon Soothsayer able to draw first blood, so we're going to see if the Great Equalizer can come in here for AIMA. And I certainly like his build. I think it's pretty well prepared for a rush like this. I mean, having all the anti-large and durability is going to be able to kind of halt the Beastmen onslaught. But the Beastmen also have a couple of really good picks. Like the Eye of Warsleep is going to be incredibly useful against his very defensive formation. That's very, very slow as well. Yeah. The Baconator Supreme. Yeah, no, I agree. Charge bonus of 46 for such a cheap unit is quite strong. So the Eye of Warsleep dropping a boulder, taking out some of those unfortunate skinks over there, so definitely feel bad for those guys. But the dinos are going to have to advance out of their comfort zone. Now, there could be some light skirmishing here from the Beastmen, but the thing about Centaurs is they only have 70 range. So if Head Mantis is, you know, pretty efficient with using his skink cohorts to screen these guys out, so they're not really going to get any value. So what he'll probably end up doing with these Centaurs is parking them in his main line, kind of like behind the front line fighting, and then just use them as kind of a steady damage source to take out Red Crescent Skinks and other troops like that. So we'll see how that goes. Pickled Buddha, thank you for the donation. Loved your content, but curse you for getting me hooked on Magic again. Yes, good Anakin. Play Magic the Gathering. Thank you for the donation, man. Much appreciated for the 10. And yeah, we just continue forward here in this glorious clan war. So the Beastmen are going to be taking up a posture in the forest, which is quite smart. I am Morsleep going to be throwing some of its Olympic boulders over here at the Temple Guard. So definitely showing off its strongman prowess as it bombards these troops here. And the Temple Guard are like the ideal target. They're relatively tightly packed, they're expensive, they're armored, and the boulder coming in, and a beautiful shot right in the center, taking out, it looks like almost like 10 of those guys. And or maybe 9 or 10, doing some pretty good damage. But the Beastmen are going to have to deal with this Lizardman force eventually. Now, what the Beastmen could do, which would be really solid, if they actually grabbed this entire force, fell back, and did a big old flank overload here, and don't take the engagement over here against the Lizards, but rather do a flank overload and just kind of take away these assets, because the dinos are very slow. So he's going to have relative impunity in that respect. But anyways, it looks like he's going to be taking a head-on engagement here. Malagor, the Dark Pigeon, is going to be running up through the forest and dropping a Vile Tide here. Vile Tide does pretty good damage against light armor. I mean, that's okay. It's a dirt cheap spell, so certainly not a bad usage. The Ungors are going to be charging in, but only to be run over here by the big dinosaurs. So the Red Crested Skink Chief is going to be swiggity-swooty all over those guys. And it looks like Fly on Bread might actually be falling back here. Yeah, so he's falling back with this formation a little bit. I mean, why give them this engagement? Just fall back, delay it for as long as possible. But the frontline fighting elsewhere is underway. So some of the spears are going to be surging forward, and the bacon is going to be charging. The hogs, the wild hogs, release them hogs. Skeeter, get in there. Get in there, Billy Bob. So the hogs are going to be getting in there, and they're certainly, chunking away at the spears, but the spears are quite happy. I mean, I honestly think that the Saurus spears might be able to 2v1 this fight, like beat the destroyers, plus also beat the Razorgore herds, but it's hard to say. Over here, this looks like where we have the big pit fight. The Red Crested Skink Chief gets a little bit too balls deep for his own good. He actually gets surrounded by Vestigore herds, and it looks like he's also going to be taking some damage from Gorbel. So at this point, he most certainly should be falling back, but the Razorgore herds in the front line are terrified. They're breaking, and it looks like the dinos have a pretty good situation aside from that, Red Crested Skink Chief taking a little bit of a sweet Gorbel action. Temple Guard are going to be able to fight the Koroks Man-Rippers, which isn't a bad situation. We have the big old angry Feral Carnosaur here, who does get afflicted by the Traitor Kin, which does slow him down a little bit, but look at this. I mean, so many dinos coming in. We do have these Saurus Spears, we have the Skink Cohorts who are going to be doing some counter skirmishing, and it looks like the Eye of Morsleep, since he decided to kind of take a fight in the forest, the Eye of Morsleep isn't really going to be able to do much here. He's just kind of standing with his one eye and looking silly, and yeah, not having the best of times. I mean, just check him out. I mean, he's just, throwing boulders. There he goes. Nice little boulder throw. Going to be going into the Temple Guard there, but yeah, I mean, the trees are going to be a big obstruction for him. And like I said, for Fly on Bread, I think that the Vestigore herds are going to be his potential saving grace. They're actually chewing through the infantry relatively efficiently. Even the Temple Guard are taking a bit of damage from the Man-Rippers. And over here, we do have Malagor taking some work here from the Red Crested Skink Chief. So where's Big Daddy Gorbel? Guardian Gorbel coming in. So the Gorbel here going to be karate chopping this Red Crested Skink Chief, but it looks like he misses right there, which is interesting. But Gorbel, he's gotten a couple mass buffs. Old Gorbel would have just been launched into the Shadow Realm. Like that attack there would have launched Gorbel into Corone over there, whatever castle that is. But Gorbel's going to be turning around, perhaps countercharging, but the Red Crested Skink Chief with the Opal Amulet and the Warrior's Crest and the Potion of Strength, quite a force to be reckoned with, but this is a good play. Getting the Eye of Morsleep in here as well, he can Warp Gaze this guy, and the Eye of Morsleep does hit very hard in melee combat. Granted, the dinos do have some Temple Guard nearby to defend, so there is going to be kind of consistent anti-large coming down in this area. Over here in the forest, we still have that same grindy fight. Vestigores fighting against Saurus and Temple Guard. A bit of a wash here, but maybe the Koroks Man-Rippers and the Vestigores will win this area. But in the back, though, it's looking pretty grim bones for the Beastmen, because there's not much to protect Malagor, except Gorbel's coming in, and he is pissed. I think I, Morsleep, and Gorbel need to get like a good 2v1, but I mean, the Centaurs are still in line a little bit. I mean, 30 models here. Looks like some of the Coldwind Riders are going to be surging into the back line, and it seems that the dinos with the Saurus Spear line, I mean, I really like that. I think that the Saurus Spear pick was really good in this matchup because the Razorgore herds are such like a metagame thing, right? So the Saurus Spears will beat the Chaff, and most people use Razorgores with Chaff just for, to be more cost effective. So I really like the Spear pick by the Lizardman here, by Head Mantis. In the meantime, Gorbel's going to be coming over here. A little bit of kiting going on from the Centaurs and throwing axes, and Gorbel should be able to help take apart these Coldwind Riders, especially with a little bit of support from the Ungor Spearman herds. And in the forest, here in the rains down in, blessing the rains down in Africa, is this Eye of Morsleep blessing some of these dinos right here. And you can see these Saurus Spears going to be taking a pounding, but this is a good situation for the dinos. Temple Guard and Spears are both anti-large units, and the Spears themselves don't do great against AP, but obviously this Eye of Morsleep doesn't have much armor, it only has 50. And now there's not much to stop this Red Crested Skink Chief. I mean, he's going to be going in and hunting down Malagor. Yes, he'll be taking some damage from the Centaurs, but I mean, they're pretty beat up themselves. They're not even at their full fighting capacity, and maybe the Bacon's going to come in. This could be a way for Fly on Bread to get back in this game because Head Mantis is very, very solidly ahead in this matchup. So the Razorgore herds are going to be swarming in, but yeah, a Razorgore herd is not going to be able to stop a Chief, plus also this Feral Carnosaur. So those bad boys are going to be coming in, and you can see Malagor is going to be getting spit roasted, probably served for Thanksgiving at the Lizardman Thanksgiving dinner here, and you can see he's going to be scurrying into the hills. He's quite terrified. And what do we have left for the Beastmen in terms of like stopping power? So we have the Koroks Man-Rippers, we have the Vestigores in the front line who've done pretty well for themselves. They've beaten down these Temple Guard relatively efficiently for the, I don't know if Koroks Man-Rippers had the best situation because they more so want to be fighting these big threats, right? But I mean, still, you kind of had to stop that onslaught. And that's going to be game here as Head Mantis is going to be, pulling out the W for AIMA. AIMA. It's happening. Sorry for the lag, guys. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the cables and all that stuff. Yeah, it's really obnoxious. Spit roast Malagor. I know. It happened. I'll go ahead and take a look here. I mean, there's not much I can do, unfortunately, but yeah. It's just my provider being a troll. being a troll. Hopefully it'll just lag for like a couple seconds and it won't be enough to like really ruin the game. But AIMA's good on the scoreboard now. They're on the scoreboard. So Head Mantis was able to get the victory for his clan there in this glorious clan war. And now we have Mr. Eggy. So the clan leader of AIMA facing off against A-Move Hacker. You've only missed 2 games. 2 games have been had, 2 glorious battles, which have been really good. And we even had a game from the Draclor and Soothsayer and King of the Dead in the first match, which was very, very fun. That was more of a lizardman ambush, yeah. GG. GG. Well played. Next up. And man, guys, I have some really... I'm so excited for the next like month or two in Total War. Like, I'm so excited. It's going to be good. So next, we have the lads coming up. We have A-Move Hacker, who shall be facing off against Mr. Eggy, who shall be the first to join in this this fierce battle to decide the fate of Middle-earth. Yeah, the audio doesn't cut. It's probably just the video that cuts a little bit, but it should be fine. So Lepole, if you're going to buy a DLC, I would 100% buy the Vampire Coast over the Wood Elves any day of the week. The Vampire Coast campaign is incredibly fun and it's awesome. It's thematic, it's story driven, it's cool, it's fun. You get to be a pirate, you get to set up pirate coves. And the Wood Elf campaign, it's very outdated. It's not that good. I mean, yeah, you have to like pay Amber to get your cool units, and it's like the mechanics are so annoying. Like get the Vampire Coast, dude. You won't regret it. You haven't missed Udal Abrow. I can't read that. Sorry, my eyesight's a little bit foggy in the morning. Mr. Udal, you haven't missed an Orc or an Undead game yet. You did miss Tomb Kings, yes. No Dwarf games yet. Tolkien Orcs are... so Arista Demo says, I still haven't figured out if Tolkien Orcs are more like greenskins or more like vampire counts. Well... Are you talking about the actual vampires themselves? Because the Tolkien orcs are not like intelligent or cunning. I mean, their leadership is in a way. I mean, I guess you could look at like Sauron and you know, and the other kind of leadership, you know, Saruman and those characters, and kind of look at them as like the vampire counts, and then like the orcs are just like these mindless automations. But I mean, I think they're still more similar to greenskins. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so the next match, let's go ahead and see. We got Mr. Eggy and A-Move Hacker. The lads are here. Oh, the dwarves, the Dawi. The Dawi come. So let us go ahead and set up on a map. We'll do Oakenhammer. Oakenhammer's a fun map. Nice, good one. You only watch for dwarf games. Well, Rain Roth, you happen to be in the right place right now, because A-Move Hacker, who's going as Indeed Walrus, is most certainly a dwarf player. So you are in for a treat. Yeah, I mean, Tolkien's... Yeah, I do remember that Xeno vaguely. I haven't read the Lord of the Rings books themselves since I was like 13 or 14 years old, so it's been a long time. But yeah, the Uruk are obviously, you know, superior in pretty much every way. Oh. How dare people call me on my stream? Trolls, I tell you. Gotta mute my phone here, guys. Sorry about that. They've wronged us. Satisfy the grudge. Now, this is a matchup that does slightly favor the Norskins, but the Dwarves can certainly win it. In the hands of a good Dwarf specialist, you can win this matchup. I've won it on countless occasions, but it still does slightly favor the Norskins. Like, if you have 2 equally skilled players, I think Norska will win more often, but Dwarves still can win it. Don't get me wrong. All right, guys, I'm going to go get some water. Rain Roth, thank you for becoming a member here on the channel. That's some heavy metal stuff, and it would appear you truly are a Dawi fan, and hopefully... you know, A-Move Hacker, who plays a lot of dwarves, can perform for you here. Yeah. Phone ring. My immersion. All right, guys, I'm gonna go get some water real quick. Sorry for the creaky floor. Clan sides have changed. Curse the Baggins. Curse the Baggins. All right, so I got to change this now. I keep changing sides. Just messing with me here. Honestly, the way to beat Norskin's though is just a ton of Thunders, I think. Oh, and the players are ready. Let us do glorious battle. Yeah, drop a like if you guys are enjoying the stream. It certainly does help to support the content. You know what, guys? This is just, we're here with the stream to help you pass the time until the DLC drops, because I know it's a little bit tough to enjoy the content as much when, you know there's some new DLC around the corner. I think on the September 11th is when it comes out, right? Yeah. So, I mean, we're just here to pass the time. Chain Lightning was just cast in the channel. QSA clearly stands for quirky skink attendance. That's pretty good. Yeah, sorry about the lag, guys. It's really frustrating. I mean, I don't know what to do. Yeah, it just cut down pretty laggy there for a second and then jumps back up. Hopefully it'll at least stabilize for the game here. It's the upload speed that's a problem. We'll see what we can do. Giga Tool, thank you for the kind words, man. I do appreciate it. I will keep up the good stuff. Yeah, there's new DLC coming around the corner. For anyone who's new, we're going to be getting the Hunter and the Beast DLC on September 11th. So there's going to be a DLC for the Empire and Lizardmen. Yeah. Yeah, but if I reset it, the thing about that, Wicked, is if I reset my stream or my internet, what ends up happening is it'll obviously cut the stream and then it uploads as two separate videos. And I really like to keep it as one kind of conjoined, like one video. It's much easier to watch. Yeah. I'll probably call my internet service provider and have them come by this week and take a look. It's probably those damn Skaven chewing on my cables again. As far as so from what I've seen in the previews that Creative Assemblies put out, I think the Empire campaign looks a little bit more alluring to me. But I don't know. I'll have to get my hands on it first before I decide. Yeah, Wicked, and thank you for modding as always, Misha. You guys are covering all the bases. And Fly on Bread, you played a great game, man. Both of you guys did. You and had Mantis. That was a really fun showdown. All right, so here we are, guys. We have the glorious Dawe, led by A-Move Hacker. So as far as his firing core, he has a combination of Thunders, Iron Drakes with 12 armor torpedoes, and Coilers, and Althar's Raider. So my one concern with his army is that's a lot to protect. That is a lot to protect. Like, if that main line gets kind of penetrated by the Norskins, like, you're going to be losing stuff pretty quick. But aside from that, he does, of course, have a Lord. So a proud Dawe Lord. And the reason why you pick a standard Dwarf Lord, excuse me, guys. I almost sneezed really loud. I'm on, like, the edge of a sneeze, so I have to be careful. But anyways, it's going to be Longbeards here in the front line, Warriors of Dragonfire Pass, and to kind of continue on my point from earlier, the reason why you get a standard Dwarf Lord is because they're very cheap. So when you get a cheap Lord, it allows you to get more units and just get a little bit more hog wild. Like, for example, if you were to get, like, High King Thorgrim, that's like an extra 1,200 gold, which is essentially like, 2 Thunders almost. So getting the Dwarf Lord does allow you to go a little bit wider. On top of that, we got Coilers, we got the whole range core back here, Troll Armor Torpedoes, the Dragonback Slayers, Longbeards with great weapons in the back, which is nice, brings a little bit of extra AP. And something a lot of people don't know about Longbeards with great weapons is these proud little dwarves do also have charge defense against large foes, which is quite gangster. So those guys can take a beating. And that's pretty much it. And for the Norscan army, let's take a look. So Chariots are the standard go-to. He has the Final Transmutation here, so he's going to be trying to hope the dwarves blob up on the Chariots and he can nuke them from there. Marauder Chariots. Front line's going to be all great weapons, Marauders with great weapons. So he didn't opt to get any champions. So did he? No. Second line's going to be champions. Yeah, this is really good. Yeah, it's going to be hard, for sure. I mean, but the thing about Longbeards is they will beat Marauders with great weapons, but they'll lose to Marauder champions with great weapons, so some give and take there. In the back, we got Wolfric with his pirate ship and Hunter of Champions. We got the Miststalkers, and up in the sky, we do also have a Feral Manticore, which is good. I think you should always bring one Feral Manticore in this matchup, just in case the dwarves get a little bit spicy with, a freaking Gyrocopters and things like that. Yeah, is it lagging a little bit? It's a slideshow, yeah, poor frames. It should stabilize in a second. Yeah, I don't know what to do. Sorry about that, guys. Usually it only lags for like half an hour when I start streaming, but it'll hopefully, pick up from there. Okay, looks like it may stabilize. I know it's unwatchable, guys, but hopefully it'll do its thing. The scrolls are punishing us. Yeah, guys, don't worry. It'll come back eventually. But the battle's underway here. Longbeards in their glorious box formation. I feel like, you know, A-Move Hacker's box has evolved over the ages. Like, historically, the box was always just in this very, like, you know, kind of... He used to do more, like, actual square boxes, but now he's doing kind of like almost like a Roman formation, it looks like. But, yeah, it's a turn-based game now. Guys, you know, I like that. Look at the upside. Turn-based action. A little bit of lag. I think some of the players may be lagging as well on top of, you know, myself. But my upload is the only thing having problems. My download speed is quite good, so I shouldn't be lagging in terms of game sense. But the Marauder Chariot's going to be parking in the flanks, and the Marauders with great weapons are pushing up in the front. And Marauders, as far as... I wonder how they trade with Longbeards, like in terms of just overall value. I mean, Longbeards will win that, but I think they're going to be taking a lot of damage in the process. The Quarrelers aren't going to have too many good targets. Quarrelers could, of course, shoot up against the Feral Manticore and some of these other threats here, but yeah, we'll see how that goes. Oh no, turn slideshow. This is actually just player lag. This isn't my lag right now that you guys are seeing here, I don't think. Yeah. What in Turnation? It is turn-based indeed. From Total War to Age of Wonders? That's really good. Don't link the squirrels. Do not link to them. Seems to stabilize if you turn it down to 720. Well, right now this is actually player lag, so I have had A-Move lag a little bit in the past, so it could actually just be him here. You know, this is actually kind of an advantage for some players, like this lag, because it gives them more time to react to like sudden plays. The Dawi using the greater lag rune. You think it's my lag? I don't know. Like, I've had this experience before, but I did a test during the stream, and my download speed was fine. It's my upload speed that's having problems. So, I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, the first volleys are going to be coming in, pounding into the Marauders, and those guys are certainly getting shreked by a torrent of fire here from the Dwarves. But, you know, it's nice, but the real damage that you need to kind of deal is against Marauder champions. Those guys are going to be just the great punishers of the Dawi army. So right here you can see that the Marauders with great weapons are going to be charging in here, and here they come, hammering into the Warriors of Dragonfire Pass. And the Warriors are going to be able to win that fight probably pretty easily. These guys do have a bonus for infantry and 53 melee defense and a couple other things like that. So the Rune of Lag and Ruin, perhaps, yeah. The Dwarves are holding in the front line, but the real question is, are their missiles going to be able to punish the Chariots? The Chariots are just like the bane of Dwarves. But what I really like is that the Longbeards with Great Opens are positioned here on the outside because they do have that charged defense. Thunders and Trollhammer Torpedoes are going to be turning about here, and certainly going to be doing some damage. And here it comes. Oh, a fat volley. Oh, brutality. Just KO'd, no scoped. Those Marauder Chariots just got destroyed. Man, that was a really, really gross volley right there. So the Marauder Chariots getting taken down really quickly. Man, that Jawi firepower was impressive. Now, the other Marauder Chariots are going to be trying to surge in, but the Dragonback Slayers kind of tie them up a little bit. So far, it looks like A-Move Hacker is doing a pretty good job of stabilizing his formation here. But some Chariots do get into the back line. Slayers are hot in pursuit, and he's not going to be taking too much damage. But eventually, those Marauder champions with great weapons will get through the Longbeards. Thankfully, Longbeards just have incredible leadership, like incredible. So they're going to be able to hold for quite some time. And you can see the Dwarf Lord is going to be sallying forth to take out the Marauder Chariots. But the Marauder Chariots... yeah, they're getting in there. So I think at this point, what you have to do as the Dwarf player is realize that certain areas of your formation are lost, and probably pull back the Iron Tricks, the Trollhammer Torpedoes, and the Thunders, and all these other troops, and just line them up back here. And then from there, you should be able to get some pretty good positioning and shooting. The Miststalkers are also going to be jumping in. Miststalkers are a very good pick here by Mr. Eggy. Those guys do have stock, so the Dwarves can't really see them coming. And then from there, they're able to get into melee, unlike most monstrous units, which do get focused down. Now, this is actually really good for A-Move Hacker. It looks like his Shaman Sorcerer, Mr. Iggy's, is very, very low, and if he's able to finish him, that's a big deal, because that means that there's going to be one less Final Transmutation coming here in the late game. I know, Overcast Final Transmutation, yeah, he's going in pretty deep with that for sure. And you can see here the Althar's Raiders are going to be turning and throwing their axes here at the Miststalkers, a very good target for them. They have short range, but really good AP values, and the Miststalkers are probably one of the choicer targets on top of Marauder Champions. So as far as Chariots go, there still is the Shaman Sorcerer here who's back online, but the Dwarves still have a ton of Slayers, so Warriors of Dragonfire Pass are in okay shape, and I think the Slayers still have a high model count. Let's go ahead and take a look here. So Slayers, where are you guys lurking? Warriors of Dragonfire Pass. Yeah, 48 Dragonback Slayers is quite good. The Dwarf Lord is very low, though. Wulfric's been hunting him this entire game, and he's pretty tanky, and Wulfric does have, you know, the coin, the Wulfric the Wanderer syndrome, where having, like, bad AP is kind of a, you know, an issue, is very true here. Granted, the Hunter of Champions is going to put the Dwarf Lord down to 90 armor, but 90 armor will still mitigate a lot of the damage coming in from Wulfric, and AIMA has done a pretty good job getting his guns back here. So the guns have moved back here, and now they can start shooting at the Shaman Sorcerer, or some of these other troops here, and can generate some pretty good value, to say the least. But anyways, here. Thunders, where are they going to be shooting? They need to turn and shoot. It looks like he's a little bit slow in the draw here, because if they were to turn and shoot the Shaman Sorcerer, that could be like a game-changing thing. However, the Dawi are looking quite proud here. I mean, the Norskins are winning some frontline engagements, but they're kind of getting worn down. These waves and waves of dwarves are able to clean up, and a lot of the high-value shooting he's gotten from the Iron Drakes and some of these other assets here have been able to pay dividends. So right here, you can see that the Shaman Sorcerer is afflicted by the slow from the Dragonback Slayers. And I would imagine these Thunders are going to be taking some pot shots here. They're firing. Here they come in a 3 and a 2 and a 1. No, they're going to be turning. Oh, the Manticore is going to be taking some shots. So he opts to go after the Manticore instead, which isn't a bad idea, I suppose. But yeah, I don't know. I would probably finish off the Sorcerer because the Sorcerer here is a ticking time bomb. The problem is if he lives too long, he's going to be able to cast another Final Transmutation, which will probably kill the Dwarf Lord, which is a big deal. Mistalkers in the front line are actually fighting against the Warriors of Dragonfire Pass, who are holding pretty well. And on top of that, they're fighting against Longbeards, so not a terrible fight for them. And the Marauder Champions are putting up a good fight as well, but the Longbeards with Great Weapons have engaged against them, and this is a very common dwarf tactic. Basically, you wear down the elite troops with your chaff, your miners, a little bit of focus fire, and then from there you can bring in your Longbeards, who can then win these engagements. Because in a vacuum, Longbeards would lose their Marauder Champions with Great Weapons, so we'll see how that goes. The Thunders in the back are shooting, the Dwarf Lord being a proud Thane of whatever clan he's from. Occupying Wulfric is an accomplishment of its own right. And here you can see the Shaman Sorcerer Metal is going to be kind of Tokyo drifting in here, but the Thunders should be able to polish him off. I mean, he is so low. 423. Slayers are coming in with a full chub here. Higher ships coming in from Wulfric. Could slow down the Slayers a little bit, but now Slayers look like they're actually going to be going after Wulfric. So going to be trying to peel for the Dwarf Lord as the Shaman Sorcerer does break. But I do think a little bit of follow-up fire from the Dwarves would be very warranted. Being able to kind of shoot over here and take out the Shaman Sorcerer would be quite nice. In the frontline fight, Marauder Champions with Great Weapons are, taking a bit of a polishing here. And the missiles, a lot of missiles. I mean, both Trollhammer Torpedoes are still online at this point in the game, which is a very dire situation here for Norska. Oh, and the Trollhammers are just bombarding Wulfric. Oh my god, he got no-scoped. Just absolute destruction. Oh my goodness. Did you guys see that nuke on Wulfric? That was like full health to nothing. Those Trollhammer Torpedoes just went straight up and right down on top of his head. Oh my goodness. Man, that was some MLG Dwarf play. Great stuff. And that's a hard matchup in my opinion. A very, very hard matchup. So well played to both players, to A-Move Hacker, as well as Eggy. But that one's going to be going to QSA. Let's go ahead and update the scoreboard here. The proud Dawi. I'm sure all the Dwarf fans are just going to be going ham here in chat. Wait, did I just update it too much? Was that the third game? Yeah, no, it should be 2-1. I was like, why did I put a 3 in there? Yeah, that's correct. So now we have Grumpy versus Karke in our next match. That was a great game. Satisfy the grudge! Wulfric got RKO'd for sure. Oh my god, Wulfric got Shadow Realmed right there. That Dwarf Lord was a beast. He was just tanking it for the ancestors. Oh my god. Dude, the Trollhammer Torpedoes were so good from A-Move. He did such a good job. He like one-shotted a Chariot, which is huge, and then from there he one-shotted Wulfric. Yeah, I mean, everyone has their opinions. I would disagree with that Iron Thunder, but yeah, I mean, I suppose it depends on the player too, right? Satisfy the grudge. Beards and belts, lads. And guys, we have a donation that I did miss because I was in a game from Garland Green. So Garland, thank you for the $20 donation here on stream. And then the $10 donation. So Garland, my apologies for missing those. Hopefully you're still on stream. Thank you so much, man. I saw those in the PayPal. I just was so caught up with the lag and some other drama that I did miss those. So Garland, thank you so much for the very generous donations. Oh my god. Hey, we got Karke here. I think Karke's in QSA, so he's on the right side. And it seems like, not to curse it, but it seems like the lag has passed. My streams typically don't have lag issues for more than 20 minutes or so. So 20 or 30 minutes. It happens like at the weirdest times. I'm telling you. Garland, thank you, man. That's very generous as always. Yeah, and the stream will be uploaded on the channel once everything is done, so you guys will be able to go back and watch. And of course, there'll be a little bit of lag, but hopefully some of the games will still be watchable. I mean, the lag was just while they were advancing mainly, so the actual battle was lag-free for the most part. So that was quite good and tasty. So we're waiting on his opponent, which is going to be... got Grumpy. Let me go ahead and Discord and check. The great Grumpy, one of the 7 dwarves, shall join. that was a really fun game. Hey, David Tarbo. Thank you, man. That was a really good game. Yeah, it was a close game. Until Wolfric got nuked into the Shadow Realm. And then the balance of power just like, whoop, just skyrocketed. Magic D. Yeah, so guys, once the DLC drops, The Hunter and the Beast, we're going to be starting ECL Season 3. So Magic D, firstly, thank you so much for the $20 donation, dude. Or 20, I can't really see, is that euros? Yeah, 20 euros or pounds? Can't really tell from here, my laptop screen's really small, but thank you for the 20, firstly. And ECL 3 will be starting as soon as the DLC drops, like pretty soon after, like a couple days. And we're also going to be starting the World Cup at the end of the month. That one takes a little bit more organization. So I still have to finalize a couple things, but so we're gonna have ECL 3 and World Cup starting. So there's gonna be a ton of awesome streams going on in the next couple months. Yeah, it's gonna be good. So let me minimize and see if there's any problems. And what clan? So Karke is QSA. So Grumpy. So I guess I just have to add the Grumpster. Grumpy Guard. Sorry for the delay, my friends. It's just the nature of the beast here with the Warhammer. And it's like, oh man, you know what else is really annoying is like having to have like a super small friends list. Like I know there's ways to like grow your friends list, but it's just obnoxious. Alrighty, lads. I just have to like look for people on my friends list who haven't been online in like a year and just remove them, you know, and then okay. Okay. And I will get to your donations in just a second, guys. Steam's interface just being terrible as always. Come. There he is. Cool. My friends list can't be full. I just made room. All right, so it's treason then. My friends list is not full though. It's weird. So I guess, did my friends list like capability shrink perhaps? All right, let's try this again. Exploding Hamster is a great guy. Cool. Sench. So I've added him to my friends list, so he should be able to join now. And thank you to the Crab Factor for the 5 and Holy Pilgrim for the 5 as well. I haven't seen such brutality since the Undertaker threw mankind off Hell in a Cell and plummeted 16 feet through the announcer's table in 1998. Holy Pilgrim, thank you, dude. And that reference is great. Yeah. Oh my god, that dwarf game was insane. The Trollhammer torpedo pounding. I'm sure AIMA was quite happy with himself right now for that Trollhammer display. All right, so let's see if this fine gentleman's on my friends list. He is, and he is in. So we have the Grumpy Guard facing off against Karke. Karke, of course, from Clan QSA. Grumpy Guard from Clan AIMA. Currently, it's 2-1 here. I don't know if that's AIMA. I don't think so. I think Grumpy Guard is from Poland, actually, from what I saw in his Steam profile. Is it Katowice, I think? Yeah, Koreans are good with Total War for sure, Marathi. Oh, man, you guys are in for a treat. 2 dwarf games in a row. Now, I do think greenskins are a pretty good counter against dwarves, but I also thought that about Norse getting the dwarves to 1, so we'll see if Grumpy Guard can, do it on the Pillar of Bone. Yes. Another dwarf game in a tournament stream. Yes. Yes, Anakin. Good. What is considered the best faction? So typically, Gigatool. I wouldn't say there's any one faction that is empirically the best. However, the best way to analyze which factions are the best is to kind of take a look at them all and be like, all right, who has the least bad matchups? Like, who can you pick and not care what your opponent picks? So in that case, I would say probably Dark Elves, Vampire Coast, Skaven. Like, they don't have that many, if any, bad matchups at all. Lizardmen don't really have any bad matchups. Like, you can play Lizardmen against anyone and have a good chance. Like, so I would say those factions are probably the best. Same with Dark Elves. Like, Dark Elves have answers for everything. Lizardmen have answers for everything. Vampire Coast has a couple like matchups that aren't great, but I would still say Vampire Coast is in the top 3 or 4. And that's the thing about dwarves. Dwarves have a lot of bad matchups, like a ton of bad matchups, but they also have a couple really nasty ones where they just destroy. Like against Empire, it's really hard for Empire to beat dwarves. So yeah, there are a couple. Can't wait for Kark's army. I've seen him take... Yeah, Kark is, of course, he's a Korean player, and he does stream, and his streams are very, very entertaining, actually. And he brings some very eccentric builds that are actually quite good as well. So I'm excited to see this. Hey, no problem, Grumpy Guard. It wasn't your fault. Dobb. Start when ready. It's all Dobbja, my friend. Yeah, worry. Tomb Kings, Tomb Kings actually don't have too many bad matchups also. I think Tomb Kings are a top tier faction. Like, Vampire Counts have a couple bad matchups, but Tomb Kings, like, really? I mean, what's really bad for Tomb Kings? I don't know. There's not too many bad ones. Wood Elves, historically, people have thought Wood Elves have bad matchups with heavy cav factions. Wood Elves, most people consider Bretonnia to be a counter against Wood Elves, but the thing about that is, like when you see players like Xiphos play, it, like, doesn't even look like that. So, it's hard to say. It's hard to say. Yeah. Tomb Kings are fun in campaign. Yeah, Tomb Kings are a very good faction. Like, if you want to become a specialist, like, Tomb Kings are very, very good to, learn. Bretonnia is one of those weird factions as well that has a couple of really good matchups and then also has some really bad ones. What game was this, Wicked D? The Throng is mustard. Yeah. Kark streams on Twitch. Vanderlark. Oh, and Vanderlark, by the way, Lady Turin's working on your journal and it looks really good. It's pretty badass for sure. Yeah. I don't know. I'm really excited for this DLC though. I am very, very excited. It's going to be breathing some fresh life into the game, which is always good. And it's going to be great. Hey, Nemanja, what's up? Yeah, most people stream on Twitch. And yeah, we'll drop if somebody in chat could drop a link to Kark's stream, that would be great. He has really, really good micro too. Yeah, I was about to say something, but I think that Total War in general is much more popular on YouTube. Like, I found that, like, it's a lot of people who stream exclusively on Twitch, like, typically don't get as big of an audience as I think it's just bigger on YouTube. Like, I mean, it still does have a pretty decent audience on Twitch, but comparatively speaking, there's so many more people on YouTube from what I've seen. Oh my god, I'm excited for the War Wagons. I can't wait to give those guys a whirl. It's gonna be good. So the Grumpy Guard is ready. The hero of the Dawi people. Let us see if the Dwarves can win 2 games in a row. It's certainly going to be tough. Kark is a very good player, and Greenskins are a bit of a counter. So we'll see. But again, in the hands of a specialist or someone who plays a ton of dwarves, I mean, the guy's name is Grumpy Guard, after all. I mean, he's got to be a dwarf specialist, right? But I don't know if I've seen him play before, so this will be the first time for that. Hey, Shell and Apache, thank you for dropping a link to Kark's channel, and thank you for all you do in the Total War Warhammer community. And as a matter of fact, I do need to talk to the great Shell and Apache. I'm going to be making a Total War esports website. So essentially, it's not going to be just esports, but it's going to be a Total War website where I want to have an integrated calendar where you guys will be able to find community tournaments really easy. So whenever somebody asks, we can direct them to the website. And there's going to be a calendar that'll have like all the upcoming community tournaments, and you guys can just like join at your leisure and find links to them and everything. So yeah, that'll be coming up. And let us see if the dwarves can do it. So for the build of the Dawi, it looks like we're going to be having a Lord, so pretty similar to a move. On top of that, you just have the Gob Lobber in the back, going to be lobbing some gobs at the Greenskins. I don't know how good it is on a small map like this, because this is a very blitzy map, so I don't know. It still will generate some value just kind of shooting at Black Orcs. And honestly, the Dwarves do have a pretty good little hill to kind of defend up here, so there certainly is some value there. For the front line of the Dawi, we're going to have Longbeards. Yeah, Longbeards across the entire front line. Now, Longbeards will get smashed pretty bad by Black Orcs in most of these AP units like Squig Herds, but the upside of Longbeards, the shielded variant, is they have really high melee defense at 48, and they do hold for a long time. So if you're going to be relying on your backline assets, they can pay the troll toll. He's got Miners, Dwarf Warriors on top of that. For his real punch in his army, he does have the Altarch Raiders. And that's pretty much it, aside from Trollhammer Torpedoes. 2 groups of those bad boys, so there's certainly going to be a lot of work for him to take out these Black Orcs. Like, I feel like in this matchup, you really need Runes of Wrath and Ruin to kind of wear down the Greenskins and wear down the Black Orcs. Otherwise, they just crump all over your, the Gits, which is not fun. In the back, there's going to be some Skulkers here. You guys have seen the Dwarf Army, so we got 2 Skulkers here in Vanguard deployment. Front line's going to be Blorks, Black Orcs mixed in with Goblins, so obviously the Goblins are just going to be a nuisance on the flanks. You got Azag. Azag's a good pick. Or no, actually an Orc Warboss. Orc Warboss is fine too. Good AP, mobile, poison. 470 weapons rank. Orc Shaman going to be dropping Brain Busta on blobbed up dwarves, which is cost effective, and there we go. Looks like there's going to be some Squig Herds in the back. A good mobile threat. They do rampage, but nonetheless, bonus versus infantry and armor piercing. You can't ask for much more against the dwarves. And the dwarves going for a classic box, but what I really like about this Greenskin deployment is that the nasty Skulkers from Karke can actually come in and tie up the Dragonback Slayers. And Slayers don't want to be fighting goblins. That's an extremely cost inefficient trade. Yeah. Yeah, 1 second here. Yeah, shoot me a message, Robert King. We're going to be using WordPress to make the website. Oh yeah, Milk and Cookies is a great channel for sure. He does like what's cool about his videos too is his battles is he adds a lot of like narrative. If you guys are like more into the kind of story driven element to the game and like lore and things like that, he adds like battle narrative before the battles, which is cool. So I mean, to each their own. It depends on what you're looking for, but yeah, he's a great channel. He does have a great channel, does good content, and yeah, he's an OG. Misha, that's pretty funny. Yeah, so I don't know. I feel like the Greenskins have the advantage here. I just don't see how he's going to kill all those Black Orcs. So we got 4 Black Orcs. Oh, that's so much meat to get through. And yes, Althar's Raiders and Trollhammers can wear them down over time, but I don't know. And the Skulkers in the back is super solid. The Skulkers are going to be able to kind of chew through these Dwarf Warriors, and that's going to just have so much pressure. There's going to be pressure everywhere. Yeah. Fabian, I agree with that sentiment. Holy Pilgrim. That's funny, dude. The Black Orcs will win. God, Black Orcs are so cool. And by the way, guys, oh man, I don't want to spoil a really funny video I'm making for you guys. Oh man. Yeah, we'll save it for another time. The Goblobber is a pretty good tool against Black Orcs, and it may be able to kind of neuter one group of Black Orcs before they get too close, but nonetheless, this Dwarf box is, we're going to see how it holds. The Greenskins are one of the better factions at swarming and enveloping, and you can see there's actually Skulkers here on the far side as well. And Karke, of course, immediately paths those guys to the right target. The Black Orcs here are taking a bit of a pounding. We do have 50 models left, so they've taken 10 casualties, which is quite effective. And of course, what better way to send a message than to launch goblins at orcs? That's gonna be like the ultimate insult, like the inferior creature being launched at them, right? So here it comes, another Goblobber shot, able to take out another Black Orc. Greenskins advancing though, and the onslaught is about to make impact. And I really wonder what he's going to be shooting with the Trollhammer Torpedoes. And I'm also curious about why he picks those instead of Thunderers. I feel like, well, the Trollhammers, I guess, do have the potential to like insta-gib an Orc Warboss or something like that, because you're not really going to be seeing spiders and a lot of big threats here. So blasting charges are going to be incinerating to AP Loonies as these guys do charge through here, just tons of blasting charges. So good value so far, but now the real front line is going to be hitting. Squig Herds do actually take some Trollhammer Torpedoes to the face. So that front group of Squig Herds is getting pounded pretty badly. See, they break, so far the Dwarves are doing a pretty good job, but now this is where things get a little bit scary once the Black Orcs get in. So the first volleys are going to be coming in, Squigs are broken off. Althar's Raiders are going to be throwing in against Black Orcs, which is going to be good, and Squigs are going to be trying to get through the flanks here. And there's a very soft center here to this core. And Karke is going to be pushing these Squigs in, and he does get on top of some of the Trollhammer Torpedoes. For the most part, the Black Orcs are actually taking quite a bit of damage. The Althar's Raiders are just doing the work of the Jawi Ancestor Gods and really taking apart these Black Orcs. So Althar's Raider play here from Grumpy Guard, very, very good so far. But now the Greenskins have arrived. The Black Orcs are slowly chipping their way through the front line, and I don't know why we haven't seen a Waaagh yet. A Waaagh would be very, very good here. And I think that Karke may have just forgotten it, which could actually cost him the game. But anyways, while going down here, he's going to be missing out on the charge bonus element, which would have been quite good. But here, Azag is going to get marked by Althar and is going to be forced back. The Squigs have been forced back in pretty much every direction. But guys, there also are some nasty Skulkers in the back, which are going to be pressuring in. But the Dwarf Warriors are holding. And the blasting charges from the Miners doing a very good job fending those guys off. So far the Dwarves are actually in a pretty good position. Their firing line is 100% healthy. The Black Orcs are eventually getting through the front line, but they are also taking a ton of damage from the Althar's Raiders. But the thing about the Althar's Raiders is they have pretty low ammo, so they're going to be running out relatively quick here. And you can see the Dwarf Warriors, man, these guys are true heroes. Defending the back line, beating back the Skulkers, and now holding back these filthy goblins, which is going to be good. The Orc War Boss, in the meantime, going to be jumping in, probably going after the Trollhammer Torpedoes, I would imagine, but there are some angry Dragonback Slayers. It's kind of like a tongue twister, isn't it? But the Dragonback Slayers are going to be surging in. Oh, Althar's Raiders getting a ton of damage. And if the Trollhammers can actually pound Azag right here, or excuse me, the Orc War Boss, that could be a huge value train. So the Dwarves are still holding, and the bounce power is in their favor here, as the Black Orcs are, having some problems getting into the front line. So man, these matchups in which I thought were really bad today, the Dwarves are doing a great job just kind of holding out. But this battle's far from over. Black Orcs are still grinding out Longbeards, who are shaken. In the front here, the Dwarf Lord has engaged as well. And I'm really impressed with how well these Longbeards are holding back the Black Orcs. I would expect them to go down much quicker, but if the Wa had been a little bit sooner, I think they would have crumbled, by now. But yeah, the delayed Wa definitely hurt a little bit. So the nasty Skulkers up in the high ground are going to be getting held back by Dwarf Warriors, and these Longbeards are able to fend off these Skulkers as well. Black Orcs up in the high ground are going to be able to break through these Miners 100%, but the Dragonback Slayers can be used as a roadblock here, though you don't want them fighting Black Orcs. If you have to, you got to do what you got to do. So these Trollhammer Torpedoes from the Grumpy Guard probably going to be firing in, and oh, Azag, you better be careful, buddy. These Dwarves, oh, Deadeye will get him. And they're going to be shooting at Black Orcs, it looks like. So some of the Bulwarks do get into the back line. Althar's Raiders are 100% out of ammunition, and the Dwarves are holding back the ferocious tide here. It seems like they might be able to actually get this, as the balance of power does ebb even more into the favor of the Dwarves, led by the Grumpy Guard. So the Althar's Raiders here on the low ground are going to be getting into melee combat, and they're not slouches, and they actually have AP axes, so a good kind of dual-purpose unit here against the Greenskins. Azag's going to be cycle charging, and he should be able to break Longbeards, but the Longbeards actually are immune to psychology, so they're not going to be going anywhere. Trollhammer Torpedoes are going to be turning about face, and oh, War Boss here, you better watch out. Trollhammer Torpedoes coming in, but Karke very, very quick on the draw here, and he is able to get the War Boss back as the Goblins do surge into the back line. So it looks like, I can't believe this Goblobber has been throwing all game. Man, this guy's just been going deep. And he's been shooting at the Orc units that have routed to make sure they don't come back, which is a very, very good veteran play, actually. The Dwarf Warriors up in the high ground going to be fighting here against these Squig herds. And some of these poor Dwarves shall be feasted on by the Squigs, but they shall go down in the Hall of Ancestors for making the ultimate sacrifice and holding back these foul fungi. Yeah, that Dwarf got 8. He got 8. That's unfortunate, poor guy. But, it is what it is. Squigs are pretty nasty beasts, but I'm really surprised these Dwarves are still holding here. It's pretty crazy. Orc War Boss, I'm so not used to seeing him. It's good to be kind of circling the flanks, but it seems like the Dwarves have pretty much dominated the front line and the battlefield in general. Trollhammer Torpedoes are still online, so even if Azag does want to come back in, it's Orc War Boss! Orc Zag. We're going to call him Orc Zag from now on. Even if the Orc War Boss does want to come back in, he's going to get hammered by the Torpedoes. And the Squigs are going to be charging in, but Longbeards do have charge defense, which is going to mitigate the effectiveness of the Squigs here. You can see they brace. Take a little bit of damage on impact, but for the most part, they should actually be able to defend off the Squigs, which is pretty nice. Trollhammer Torpedo is going to be shooting in at Orc Zag here. He is marked by Althar. Dragonback Slayers are kind of peeling him, so he's going to be slowed. Things are just not looking good for the Orc War Boss here. Balance of power massively in the favor of the Dwarves, as the Greenskin threat has been dissipated. And the Daoists stand proud. No silly Urks and Grobby this day. I know. The Dwarves are 2-0 on this stream, which is quite incredible. So up on the high ground here, Goblins fended off by the Dragonback Slayers, satisfying their well, hopefully not satisfied. I always feel bad when they go out to, satisfy the Slayer Oath. It's kind of a grim thing, right? Because dwarves kind of look like everybody's like uncle or grandpa, with a big epic beard, so it's kind of like a sad thing when you see him go. Anyways, Dwarves going to be coming in here, and you can see Orc War Boss does come in for a charge here, but right into the throng of angry Slayers who are going to be... Oh, and the karate kick! That Dwarf just threw a massive karate kick right into the back of that War Boss there. Absolutely nasty stuff, and army losses is going to be afflicting the Foul Uruk. Man, the Dwarves, the Dawi, I really didn't think his army would have enough, but the Althar's Raiders methodically just peeling apart those Black Orcs was incredible. And yeah, that was just great play. I'm very impressed by the Dwarves today. Very impressed by those builds. And I have to say, I actually thought they were pretty doomed in both those games, but they proved me wrong, so... Satisfy the grudge! And that's going to be a victory for For the Grumpy Guard, let's go ahead and update the scoreboard here. And AIMA's back on the scoreboard. It seems like we have a pretty even clan war today, guys. As we jump into this next glorious match here. GG, well played. Excellent. And the Grumpy Guard. Bardzo dobrze, my friend. Very, very good job. Dziękuję for the game. All right, so next we have Chamorro versus Dobb plays. All right, so the very own, the Dobb, the great Dobb shall be here. And well played, Grumpy. Let me just make sure Grumpy isn't like playing another game as a replacement or something. No, it doesn't look like it. Yeah, it should be Dobb versus Chamorro here. So Dobb. All right, so well played to Grumpy. And then we have Chamorro coming in. Oh my god, if Dobb goes Dwarves too? Dobb is going to bring Empire though, probably. It is the Dobb! And Chamorro, so let me go ahead and see if I have to switch the scoreboard once again. No, we're actually good. So Dobb is a member of QSA. I don't know if he's an actual member, if he's like an honorary member, but nonetheless, he is today. And yeah, Chamorro is going to be going with the Dork Elves. So let's go ahead and change the map here. Shall do the River Amixon, which is a cool map. I like this one. Orkzag. So it's not best of 5. They're going to be playing all 7 games, and whoever has the higher score at the end is going to win. So, because if it were to be best of 5, it would eliminate some of the players on the end who are going to be playing. So as far as matches go, we still have Draclor versus Wicked D, Forsaken versus Arista Demos, and we have a 2v2 at the end as well. And Prisoner of Warhammer says, no, not the greenskin. So many gits left uncrumped. Prisoner of Warhammer, thank you for the 400 rubles, man. He's an actual member. All right, cool. 100% organic. I'm sorry, Prisoner. The crumps were not, the gits were not crumped this day. The nation calls! Dobb is a hero of the people. Always coming in with the Empire. You gotta love this guy. He's an awesome content creator, awesome guy, a great friend, and a true hero of the Empire. Yeah. Wicked, you better win. I know. Tonight's it's been a good run, guys. We're at the hour and 20-minute mark. Oh man, they're ready already. I'm just gonna sit down for a quick second. Rest the old PTs because I am at my standing desk. Lady Turin and I will eventually move. Probably in the next year we're gonna move somewhere, and hopefully we'll move to a space that like I want to get like some sort of a house or apartment, I don't know, that has like a room that can be just for content creation, because like I want to have a well-lit room where I can film 40K battle reports, because the problem with my house now is that or apartment, or it's more of like a little condo we live in, is that like the living, we have horrible lighting. It's like a very old house with like dim medieval lighting, and it's like to buy lighting rigs is so expensive. So I just wanted like a well-lit living room area, and then obviously a room where I can just have to record, because here it's like, you know, it's in our bedroom, so obviously it can be a little bit obstructive at times. Anyways, I'm back in action. No, I was just sitting on the bed. Oh my god, the Space Jam website, Valnir 19. I think that thing is still up, dude. Everybody get up in time to slam now. Space Jam. The Midwest will pay me to move there? Yeah, you see, in the Midwest, I could actually have like... So, with what I make on YouTube, it is my full-time job. Like, it allows for, thankfully, due to your guys' support, I'm able to have a nice living here with my wife. But, like, not able to save too much. LA is very expensive. Like, if we lived in the Midwest, we could have, like, you know... I don't know, but internet might be an issue out there. I don't know. It's something to think about. No, don't. No. Don't donate to buy lamps. We have like candlelight in our house. Yeah, the Space Jam website is still around, yeah. That's crazy. It's so 90s too. It's like a time capsule. After the apocalypse, I know. Alien civilization will discover our internet infrastructure, and they'll like see the Space Jam website, and they'll think that we were like these giant monstrous cartoon people. Kansas City has Google Fiber. Oh god, that'd be nice. Just getting like that glorious fast internet. God, it's so terrible. Like, so in some states in the United States, like basically these big just piece of shit like broadcasting companies have like a monopoly. And when Google or like these other like actual like good companies come in and try and like, you know, give you good infrastructure like for the internet, they just like bully them out. And they have like lobbying in the political infrastructure as well. So they dominate the politics and you know, God, it's just horrible. So you're stuck like with these crappy companies that just have the worst policies, just terrible support. Oh, it's so bad. Yeah, the thing is, like, I love living in California, too. It's, like, a beautiful state. Like, the beaches are awesome. Like, there's a lot to do. Like, if I want to go play Warhammer 40K or any other hobby, you can find it. Like, no matter what. But anyways, guys, let's go ahead and take a look at the Dork Elves first. So this is going to be led by Chamorro. In the front line, he's got a bunch of spears. So it looks like there's going to be 5 spears, including the chillest of all the bros in the realms, which are going to be the Hellbroni, the chillest of spears. And we'll see how chill they are after this battle. 2 Dark Shards in the back. It looks like for his lord, he has Malekith on the Lizard Limo, as Dobb Plays would call it. A shout out to him. We got a Death Hag as well, so definitely a lot of anti-infantry. He's got the Death Hag plus Malekith on the Chariot. And he does also have Dark Riders, which are a very good counter-skirmishing unit. And he probably knows that Dobb loves Pistoliers. So Dark Riders are shielded, and they're also a little bit faster than Pistoliers, so they can catch them eventually. So this is a very, very good pick here. So I like that quite a bit. So on top of that, we do have a couple more elite units at the back. It looks like we're going to have the Knights of the Ebon Claw going pretty hard in Coldwood Knights. So for Dobb's Force, this is the Dobb Plays special. We have 4 Pistoliers. On top of that, in the front, it's going to be Swordsmen and Spearmen, pretty chaffy. Empire Knights, and looks like Knights of the Blazing Sun and Knights of the Blazing Sun. We also have an Amber Wizard with the Matscore Summon, plus we have a Toddy up in the sky who's going to be going in. So should be quite a bit of fun. Last question to be answered before I comment on this battle only. The thing I'm most excited for in the Hunter and the Beast is going to be the War Wagon. I can't wait to get my hands on that. So the Amber Wizard's going to be flying up here, doing a little bit of poke. And the reason why Dobb goes with the Amber Wizard is because you have 2 big terror-causing monsters. The Amber Wizard can ride this Griffin, and it actually causes terror, which is very, very strong. He's going to be using them as a kind of an AP punch. So the Pistoliers actually countercharge the Dark Riders, which is very interesting. But what Dobb is trying to do here by taking this risky charge is using the support of his 2 big monstrous units. If he can win these fights versus the Dark Riders, he then has complete, mobility advantage. The Pistoliers are going to be unimpeded. They can run. I mean, the Dark Shards can counterfire them, but then he's going to be able to kind of kite and do whatever he pleases. So Dobb is able to break off the Dark Riders over here, and it looks like they're going to be getting chased off by Pistoliers, which is good. The other Gambit doesn't go quite as well because the Dark Elves are able to get some spears and other supporting elements out very quickly. And the Pistoliers from Dobb are going to be shooting in, and they're going to be taking a charge, actually. So Dobb charges in with the Pistoliers, and the reason he does this is to target these guys, at which point he then pulls in the Knights of the Blazing Sun to kind of pin them in. On the far side here, you can see that Boris Todbringer, Malekith's in a huge amount of trouble. Double Imperial Griffin beatdown. I mean, this could actually just lose the Dark Elves the game here. If Toddy and this other Griffin are able to just goon Malekith. Now Malekith could, and he's getting, his limo's getting stuck on the birds. Oh no, and a Matscore Summon's going to be coming in as well. Huge damage. So very good play by Dobb. Now, it's not going to end the game because Malekith does get away, but still, that was a very, very nice play. But, on that same note, guys, Chamorro is coming in with the steel chair on the other side. We have Knights of the Blazing Sun who are going to be fighting Dark Riders, and the Death Hag is going to be surging into the front line, really punishing a lot of these state troops. So certainly a bit of a scary situation there. So Malekith does use the Soul Stealer up here on the Amber Wizard. Toddy's still in the hunt, and he's still really aggressive after Malekith, which is interesting. And the Summon Matscore is going to be jumping here into the Dark Shards and, doing some okay work. But the one thing that is going very well for Dobb is the Knights of the Blazing Sun were able to crump the last of the pressure coming in from the Dark Riders. So if Dobb wants to, he can pull in the Knights of the Blazing Sun, and he should be able to relatively easily get into the back line. However, the Coldwood Knights and the Knights of the Ebon Claw have been held in reserve very, very patiently. So they will beat down Knights of the Blazing Sun for sure, and some of these other cav units. But Malekith's taking a bit of work here. He's in the danger zone. He's got about 2.3k HP, but I think that Dobb has to fall back because the Dark Shards are just doing so much work. And you can see here the Feral Matscore is going to be charged here by the Coldwood Knights, and on the far side, the Empire Knights are going to be engaged upon by the Knights of the Ebon Claw. But Dobb does a pretty good job falling back, actually. He falls back, and he's going to be engaging with the Spears, which is a good bait and switch here, and it's a very even battle. I'd say slightly in the advantage of the Dork Elves right now because they were able to punish all the Pistoliers, and their front line is probably going to win this engagement. Death Hag is going to be a big presence to deal with as well. But over here, we do have Boris Todbringer. And it looks like Toddy's going to be coming in, trying to, fight the good fight here. But there are so many elite cav here. The Knights of the Ebon Claw are no joke. Those are a very powerful cav unit. But if Toddy can actually isolate and kill Malekith right here, or maybe get a good terror out here or something like that, maybe. But the Dork Elves are just doing so well here in the front. A big old Empire Knight charge going to be coming into the back of these Cold War Knights. They'll take a little bit of impact damage, but for the most part, they are a counter against Empire Knights. And the Death Hag here is probably going to be terror routing off a lot of the supporting elements for the Empire. But this is pretty much, the Empire needs to get a lot of value here in the back line. So if this Amber Wizard comes in with the Manticore, and they are able to finish off Malekith, that would give the Empire a way back into this game. But the Lizard Limo is it's a slick foe here. Soul Stealer is going to be huge. That's going to heal Malekith for like 400 HP. It's going to do a ton of damage. And you can see the Amber Wizard does get juked by the Lizard Limo. So far, a very, very good game. But it looks like the Dark Elves are going to be pulling ahead here a little bit, as Dobb hasn't been able to get his snipes. I mean, he's had some really good isolations for sure, but yeah, Malekith and company are on the hunt, and the Amber Wizard here is probably going to get broken. And the state troops, I mean, are still fighting in some areas. There's a pretty good pocket here, but the Death Hag is going to have no problem taking those guys out. And the chillest of the dudes, the Hellebroni, are still in line as well, but, you know, the Manticore is able to get some Dark Shard pressure, take those guys off. But it's going to be disappearing here in a second, and that is the second Manticore, so at that point, you know, there's not going to be too much more value coming in from that Amber Wizard's magic. And the Knights of the Ebon Claw going in pretty hard. Knights of the Blazing Sun going to be countercharging. And I wonder where Boris is going to go. I think the Empire has to rely on hero sniping here and just has to go in and take out Malekith. Malekith kind of gets left a little bit kind of naked here as well. Nice Flock of Doom coming in from the Empire is able to hit all of those guys and actually get some decent value. But Malekith is very slippery on that limo. These are not Lana War Elves, that's correct. Up in the sky here, the Amber Wizard and Toddy are going to be kind of orchestrating a last kind of desperate strike here. They could actually do this too. They could go over and kill the Death Hag. That could be something that could be pretty good. I mean, the Dark Elves are very beat up across the board. I mean, Knights of the Ebon Claw are beat up. Everyone's pretty tattered. And if the Empire could kind of re-rally its Pistoliers and its other skirmishing units, maybe it could take advantage of its better mobility and, you know, take out the Death Hag and you know, prosper from there. So Pistoliers for Dobb are going to be coming back in, and they will most certainly be shooting at the Knights of the Ebon Claw, I would imagine, or the Cold One Knights. But as long as Dobb has these guys on skirmish mode and doesn't let them get caught, he should be okay here. So yeah, to start shooting at these Cav, I mean, it's still value. So in the front, these Swordsmen are going to be engaging. Oh no, and the Pistoliers get caught up in the charge. He kind of lets him take that charge a little bit, which is unfortunate. If they could kite back, even still, they could probably do some pretty good work there. And yeah, Boris plus the Amber Wizard are going to be going after the Death Hag, it looks like. But I mean, it's still a game that the Empire can win. I mean, the Dark Elves are very beat up, like I said, and the Pistoliers could potentially do some really good kiting. They have a ton of ammo, so I mean, with good control, maybe. It's hard to say. These Dread Spears here could also get terror routed, but it looks like they're holding pretty firm here. The Death Hag does have some nice buffs, and now you can see the Cav coming in. Dobbs actually, is he going to charge these Pistoliers in? That's a bold strategy, Cotton. So he's going to be charging them, just kind of sacrificing them to allow the Ember Wizard to get a little bit of a better punch here, but I don't know if it's going to be worth it. Toddy's coming in as well. Basically, he's banking on a terror route here, trying to break all these guys off with a double kind of terror bomb here, but yeah, that's going to be it. So, well played. That was, it was a good game for sure. I think a couple of Dobbs gambits didn't pay off, but, they were good gambits nonetheless. And I think Chamorro played a really good game, and the Death Hag pick was solid. I mean, that actually just really won him the frontline engagement. Look at the kills on this Death Hag, guys. Absolute insanity. 151 kills. She was able to just paint a bloody canvas over there on the Empire battle lines and did a really good job. So yeah, it was good. It was well played to both players, to Dobb and Chamorro, but Chamorro today is going to be pulling ahead for Clan AIMA, and we'll see if QSA can get its way back into the series here with the next match, which is going to be Draclor versus Wicked D. It begins. That was a good game. It was a well-played game. Good sportsmanship all around. It's what I like to see. The next map is going to be Schwarzhofen. We're going to be switching there. The toll hath been paid. Well played to both players. That was a really fun game. And GG Dobb. And he's gone. All right. Next player's up. Wicked D and Draclor. Let's do it, Wicked. The mod coming in to drop the hammer. More dust, more ashes, more disappointment, says Father Mozgus. All right, so we got Draclor in here. Do I need to switch the scoreboard? I do. Curses. Curse the Bagginses. Oh, hold on. Come on, Draclor. Switch sides before he joins so I don't have to update the scoreboard. Come on. He was watching. Yes. Holy Pilgrim, if Wicked D doesn't win, I'll eat his foot. Damn, that's something. Well, thank you for the donations, man. All right, so the players are going to pick Wicked D. I don't think I've ever seen Dobb play the Empire without Pistoliers. Yeah, he's the Dark Lord of Pistoliers for sure. Double Dawi comeback. Enforce the law, Turin. It's not a best of 7 per se. I mean, it's there are 7 matches, and whichever team has a better score at the end just wins. So technically, if Wicked loses this, no pressure, Wicked. If you lose this, the clan war is over, and AIMA will have won. But if you win this, you know, then it's going to go to Game 7, which is going to be decided by a 2v2 battle at the end. No pressure, Wicked. No pressure, dude. I'll be right back. Getting some more water. I return. It is 7 matches, correct. Or is it 8? Let me go ahead and check. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh yeah, it is 8 matches. That's right. Okay, never mind. So I was wrong. Arista plays next. I was just misreading it. So Forsaken, so it's going to be 8. So it could actually be a tie. It could actually be a tie. Here we go. So yeah, sorry guys, there's another 1v1 after this. Draclor says, for Bretonnia! And Wicked comes in with the Dark Elves. There is a 2v2 at the end. Wookiee's in the living room right now. Wookiee's, he's hanging out with Anna, being a gremlin. You know, doing what gremlins do. Just chewing on things and causing problems. Mr. Nyatek, thank you. Pilgrim, do not eat foot. It bad for you. A nice show of support there. That's very kind of you. We demand answers? I thought this was America. No ties here. There's only winners and losers. I know. Yeah, it's like the high school football attitude here in America. All right, so we load into this glorious battle. And it's showtime. I know ties are definitely a little bit like, I hope it's not a tie. Ties are like, yay, that was fun. All right, let's go home. Almost 1K people here, not even 300 likes. Man, ruthless. Holy Pilgrim, thank you for the $2 donation, man. Oh man, thank you, man. Jesus, you guys are out of control. All right, guys, let's take a look at the forces of Bretonnia, who shall be led by Draclor of Clan AIMA. Up in the sky, he does have the glorious King Lewin Leon Kerr, and he's going to be joined by Royal Pegasus Knights. So, pretty cool little goon squad. Pegasus Knights are a pretty decent unit against like Dark Riders, and if they do rear charge out of Cav that are occupied with like another Bretonnian Knight, they can kill things very quickly. So, quite excited to see the Bretonnians in action. On top of that, in the front line, it looks like it's going to be Glorious Battle Pilgrims buffered by some Peasants. He does have the Beast Slayers of Bastion back here with their anti-large, which is going to be quite helpful. And it looks like as far as his Knight Corps goes, he's got Knights of the Realm, and on the other side, he does have Grail Knights. So going pretty elite. Peasant Archers, of course, to round it all out. Peasant Archers are pretty good. They can outrange Dark Shards. They just give you some utility. Sisters of Slaughter, Witch Elves are all really good targets for them. So I do think that they're a very good choice. And for the Dork Elves in the front line, they have Dread Spears, going to be led by Wicked D of QSA. So Dread Spears across the entire front line with the Chills to the Bros, Helabroni in the center. And the K-Nate Assassin is a pretty good pick as well. I really like this from Wicked. So the K-Nate Assassin has an AoE slow. So he's going to be able to kind of, when the Bretonnian heavy cav come in, he can use his Web of Shadows to slow them and also do a little bit of damage. 1 Lizard Limo and a metric ton of Cold One Knights. Cold One Knights, of course, a pretty good answer against Bretonnian Knights. Grail Knights will win, of course, but there are a lot more Cold One Knights, so there is kind of a numbers game to be had. Marathi's a great pick as well. Heartrender and the Dark Sword, as well as the Enchanting Beauty. She can lower the melee attack of nearby troops by 18. Now, she needs to be careful, though. A 105 speed against 105. So if microed effectively, he should be able to stay away from Pegasus Knights. But if she gets caught by Pegasus Knights or by Lewin, it's going to be a bad date night for her. Over here in the forest, there's some Dark Riders on the flanks, and that's pretty much it. So very cool Dark Elf army. Dark Riders with the Peter Crossbows rounding it out. They're a great choice against Bretonnia. And I think Wicked's army is very, very good. It's like almost identical to what I like to bring. So yeah, great army there. Yes. Bleachman 01, thank you. Appreciate it. The elite peasants are coming. There's a reckoning. The Grail Knights are in their erect lance formation, just waiting to charge and unleash their They're a holy load here on the faces of these Dark Elves. But the Dark Elves, I mean, Morathi coming in, if she lowers their melee attack by 18, that puts them down to 20. And then the Coldwood Knights should have a pretty good matchup there. So it's certainly a very interesting situation here. Interesting situation. Sons of Vulcan from Montreal, Canada. Welcome, dude. From Quebec. Cool, man. Welcome to the stream. So here come the Bretonnians going to be taking the initiative here. Dark Rider is probably going to be used as more of a conservative kind of counterpunch unit. I don't see him pushing out and kind of skirmishing because the Peasant Bowman can kind of screen him. So he's probably going to be using them to just shoot against the Knights. And the Grail Knights are probably the most choice target. Grail Knights or Pegasus Knights are both just buttered up and good to go. So we'll see how that goes. Front line here, Dark Elves are coming in. And something that's really interesting about this Bretonnian build is that the Battle Pilgrims will actually win the front line pretty handily. They'll beat down the Dread Spears. They have pretty good sustained combat stats and good leadership. So here you can see the Peasant Archers are going to be unleashing salvos into the silver shields of the Dread Spears, not really taking out any models, but nonetheless doing their thing. Yeah, Robert King, we'll see. We'll see. Maybe something like that could be in store here. And the Knights of Wicked are going to be doing a headlong charge, actually. So doing just kind of a brunt force charge here into the front line, getting some really good damage on the Pilgrims across the front. But he needs to pull back pretty quickly because he doesn't want to get countercharged himself by like Knights of the Realm and Grail Knights. And King Lewin is actually going to be charging in here with the support of his Pegasus Knights. So, oh man, Sword of Corone going down. And the Coldwood Knights here just getting shreked horribly, immediately taking like 14 casualties. That was some burst damage. So on the flank, the Grail Knights are coming in. Wicked needs to respond very quickly here. He needs to get in position, take out the Grail Knights here. And you can see Wicked does get the Coldwood Knights coming in. And he is going to get the charge with a fully lanced Grail Knight. That's going to hurt pretty bad. So Coldwood Knights, well, that's actually did not go that badly for the Coldwood Knights. I mean, now they're starting to lose it pretty badly, but yeah, that was good for the Coldwood Knights. Over here you can see they're also going to be engaging against King Lewin. Repeater crossbows are shooting in. Oh, this is a good situation for the Dark Elves here. The Sword of Corone is down, but you know, King Lewin's going to be taking a beating for sure from all these anti-large units, but the Pegasus Knights of Bretonnia coming for the rescue, and here comes the charge. The huge epic charge as the Doombolt from Morathi does come in. And where is the Sorceress? She needs to get in here. Morathi needs to come in and start helping out in this fight. But the Pegasus Knights have, in a way, kind of sacrificed himself for King Lewin, because now they're going to be taking a ton of damage from these Coldwood Knights, which should win this engagement. Lewin's going to be charging in, though. He doesn't want to give up this fight, and it looks like there's going to be a heal going down, maybe a regrowth, but the Coldwood Knights actually get terrified. What terrified them? How did the Coldwood Knights, or excuse me, the Pegasus... I thought the Pegasus Knights were terrified there, but... Anyways, the Pegasus Knights were actually able to win that because Lewin came back in and really helped out in that fight. Grail Knights on the flank, a little bit caught up with spears, but now they're going to be pushing into the back here, and it seems like the Bretonnians are going to be winning this battle in a pretty dominant fashion here. Coldwood Knights in the flanks were taken out by Knights of the Realm, pretty much did nothing. Battle Pilgrims won the entire front line, and the Bretonnians won the cav fights. The Pegasus Knights rescues were very, very clutch, and it looks like, yeah, Bretonnia is probably going to be taking this in a rather expeditious manner here. Granted, the Dark Elves do have some elements back here. They have repeater crossbows still shooting, they have some spears. Morathi's up in the sky, and oh man, but she does not want to be fighting Pegasus Knights. Pegasus Knights will do very well against her. They don't have the best AP values, but Morathi's basically naked. She only has 40 armor, so she would be going down rather quickly to that. The Canade Assassin, in the meantime, is going to be kind of holding back a tide of Pilgrims, but he certainly needs to run. And the Dark Elves don't have too much going on back here, and there's just a ton of Battle Pilgrims left. Knights of the Realm are full health, and the Grail Knights are actually taken apart, so very well played Wicked here. He is able to kind of scrap out here in the late game and take out those Grail Knights, but he still has to deal with the Knights of the Realm, which is going to be a bit of a tough situation for him. Morathi's going to be getting hunted by King Lewin, and yeah, she could be taking a lot of damage, but the Pegasus Knights are hot on her tail here. And we'll see if she's able to get away here. I mean, Dark Riders could lend some pretty good Overwatch fire and maybe pick off some of the Pegasus Knights. You know, I have seen comebacks of this magnitude, but it's, I don't know, with Morathi being hunted like that by Lewin and the Pegasus Knights, and there's just so many infantry left, it's going to be so hard to break through those Battle Pilgrims. Those guys have really, really good leadership. So over here, Royal Pegasus Knights and company are going to be juking. They do get afflicted by a Soul Stealer as well. Soul Stealer does do some decent damage. So the Pegasus Knights are going to be going down there. And Lewin is going to be jumping in, going after the Canade Assassin, which is good. I mean, just break him and get closer to army losses. Morathi's coming in, and Morathi is a very good anti-large duelist. But, you know, King Lewin is he's a big, thick boy, and he's certainly going to be able to handle himself in here. But with the Canade Assassin, Morathi plus the Assassin might be able to actually put up a good fight against Lewin, who's actually taking a metric ton of damage here. And that would be really interesting. If the Dark Riders were able to finish off Lewin, like in this situation, that could actually open up a portal for the Dark Elves to maybe get their way back into this game. But a huge charge coming in from Knights of the Realm with an Earthblood. And yeah, they should be able to rescue Lewin. The Pegasus Knights coming in, the Assassin, and the remnants of these Dark Elf forces here should be buckling. But Morathi is able to get a Doombolt there. Ooh, look at the damage. That actually really shreked those Pegasus Knights. On top of that, Dark Riders are going to be surging in as well. Lewin, though, with that Earthblood, was able to heal up quite a bit. And you can see here the Knights of the Realm are going to be pushing back here. But Morathi really was able to do a good job there. She did a ton of damage. And is this going to be another Soul Stealer coming down? Looks like it. No, that's actually going to be, I think, Sword of Crone was popped or something like that. K8 Assassin is broken. Marathi and company are going to be fleeing back to Nagarond or wherever they come from, and they're going to be scheming more ways to get vengeance on these noble Bretonnians. So we'll see how that goes. Lewin and company back up in the sky. The Battle Pilgrims quite happy after being able to pick the loot from those Dark Elves. Of course, I think, isn't there a bit of a lore thing about these guys being like Clubtown Maniacs or something? Pretty funny stuff. So Battle Pilgrim surging in. Some Dark Rider fire is going to be pressuring into the Knights, which is quite good. Soul Stealer did go down on King Lewin, and it also healed up Marathi to full health. So I think Marathi's going to be going in for the Duel of Duels, maybe. She's thinking about it. She's kind of like, you know, teasing the idea, but it looks like she is going to go in for the fight. Nope, she's pulling back. Lewin's pulling back as well. Peasant archers are able to kind of lend some aid from the ground and kind of fend off the Dark Riders. But I think Marathi at this point, just go for it, right? Just go for the epic duel with Lewin. I don't know how that would go, though. Probably pretty bad. I think Marathi would probably still lose it, because Lewin is still healing as well. I mean, 2,000 HP compared to her 3.1. Is Marathi immune to psychology as well? She's not, so she could get terrorized by Lewin, which would not be good. Dark Riders are going to be pulling back in the meantime. As far as Dark Elves go, they don't have too many supporting elements on the battlefield. There are some Dread Spears in the back who are coming back in, but Lewin is going to make pretty quick work of those guys, and the Peasant Bowmen should be able to fend off the Dark Riders. They still both have about 15% of their ammunition. Yeah, Wicked's doing a really good job scrapping for sure. Like, he's had a couple opportunities here that he's almost capitalized on to get back, but Lewin's going to be a thick foe for sure. I mean, he is not an easy person to fight. He does bait out the stand your ground in the Lion Shield, but Lion Shield isn't going to be helpful against Marathi unless she uses a Soul Stealer or something. And here comes the fight. So Lewin has about 2.2, Marathi has 2.7. She takes the first blood right there, but Lewin's also taking a bit of damage. And yeah, she might be able to get this. She does lower Lewin's melee attack to 38, which is quite big. Oh, and a Soul Stealer here is actually quite solid. Soul Stealer might be able to actually do a ton of damage to Lewin. So it hits Lewin. It also does hit these guys on the ground, the Knights of the Realm. So that was a good 2-for-1 cast there. Marathi's healing up rather quickly. And Lewin's kind of in the danger zone, but I think even if Lewin dies, there's just too much. Like, look at this Bretonnian army. Marathi cannot beat that many Battle Pilgrims. Like, she might be able to kill Lewin, and then if she did, she might go after the Damsel or some of these other threats here. And it looks like a heal's going to be coming in, perhaps. I don't think it's going to matter too much. Oh, no, is that a Wand of Crydon? Is it? No, it's not. It looks like it was oh, Sword of Corone. Yeah, and Marathi gets terrorized, and that's going to be game. So Lewin still wins the duel despite all that. Man. Yeah, it's hard, because even all those Battle Pilgrims, like, I don't know how Marathi could beat those guys. Like, because with our rules, she would eventually have to fight them in, like, close quarters, and they would eventually beat her down. Well played to Wicked. You know, he scrapped, but Draclor, you know, very solid Bretonnian play coming in. Draclor sounds like an 80s villain, you know, from, like, one of those, like, He-Man cartoons or something. I am Draclor. It's a great name, though. Well played to Draclor. Coming out with the victory. Well played to Wicked, our very own mod here in chat. And AIMA is going to be going up. So, now the only way QSA can potentially get back in here is if they win their next 2 games. So if they win this next 1v1, and then if they tie the 2v2, that's going to be their only chance to tie up the series. So we'll see if they're going to be able to do it. Hey, well played to both players. That was a great game. And they clear out rather quickly. So next we have Forsaken. Wait. Yes, Forsaken. He was watching. He switched sides. What a hero. I need a hero. And I accidentally clicked on his army, so we got to get the screen blocker now. And then he's going to be facing off against Arista Demos. The second. A second of his kind. Lewin certainly said begone to Marathi. But that was a very well played game. Both players played well. It was really fun to watch. Well played, Wicked. No shame, man. You played a good game. That was a good opponent. It was a good game, and you almost scrapped your way back, too, a couple times, which was really fun to watch. And just waiting on Arista Demos. Waiting on the boy, the lad himself. Arista, I know you're in chat, too. Don't you hide here. Going to be Forsaken, and it looks like he's going to go Vampire Counts, which would be fun. I think Arista Demos likes to mainly play like elf factions, so I need a hero. Troll Country. Whenever I see the map Troll Country, it makes me think of that song by Avenged Sevenfold, Bat Country, I think it was called, or something. It's like their really famous song from that time period. So Risto, you should be on my friends list, so let me just invite you here. I don't know if he is. He always plays under different names too. There's some ridiculous names on this list. You know, it would be really interesting would be to see Forsaken actually used. So his name is Sam Morphy right now. I think he's on my friends list. It's like, oh man. Chad Kroger's on my friends list. I don't know if he's on my friends list actually. All right, so we'll go ahead and find the lad. He says his name is Sam Morphy, but he's not appearing here. That's his name on Steam. Oh, is it like QSA Sam Morphy? Sorry for the delay, guys. It's just going to be 1 second. Okay, so he's going to add me on Steam, and then we'll get him from there. Should be good. We'll do it to it. And it's showtime. We are all friends here. Jonathan Anderson says, Pilgrim, make sure to wash them feet good. Thank you for the 20 SEK, man. QSA Sam Morphy. I don't know if he's on my friends list. So we're gonna add each other here. And we'll get this show on the road. Why can't people just play under their names? Alright, so we should be able to find him here now. Yeah, I think he's like hidden or something, because when I try and add him on Steam, he just doesn't appear. Let me see. Oh. I think he's hidden right now. Yeah, I don't see him on here. All right, Soothsayer has sent me his Steam profile, which is going to be quite helpful here. So I'm going to add him there. Okay, so I need to free up some space on my friends list again. Cursed thing. Curse the Bagginses. And again, for anyone watching this later, there'll be like timestamps and everything, so you guys don't have to worry about that. I'll refresh this. Add friend. My friends list is not full though. It's not full. Steam is like such a haggard service. I mean, it's like nice, but like it's so like dated, like the UI and everything. All right, so 1 second here. Trying to add him manually here. I should put on some music while we wait. Bring in Soothsayer, I'll play him. Hey, darling.
Hey, do you need anything?
I'm good. You look beautiful, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah. That'd be big. I'm trying to find the Steam profile of one player. We're doing it. He's all hidden and stuff.
Is he from the French clan?
I don't know. We'll find out. Arista, I think you're hidden. I think he has his Steam like on a private setting, so I'm not able to find it. Like when I search his name, he doesn't even appear anywhere in Steam. All right, so let's try this one more time. Try the link Soothsayer sent. Again. Yeah, it says the profile's private. Oh, maybe that's why I'm not able to add you. Yep, yeah, I think that's what it is. Okay, so we figured it out, guys. Sing some more. What do you guys want? Yeah, so we got to the bottom of it. And let's see if this works. All right, so we got it. Michael Isaac, thank you for becoming a sponsor here on the channel. Much appreciated, man, just in time. So he should be able to see the game now if he accepts my friend request. I see him. We did it! Through the power of technology, we rise. Papa Roach, last resort. Oh my god. Yeah, I think he's invisible and private for some reason. But we got him now. The champion Arista has made it. As long as he accepts my invite. Hopefully he knows the password. Okay, he's been invited, so now it's up to him. Cut my life into pieces. I can't sing like Papa Roach. Oh man, Like Us Done by Audioslave is so good. That's a great song. Or this Ultimate Troll guy. Hey, Marathi, there's no... I take no offense. I find it hilarious. Oh man. Yeah, Revelations by Audioslave is quite good. Purple sun, won't you come and wash away the elves? Purple sun, won't you come? Won't you come? You know what my favorite song actually is by Soundgarden? Is frickin' Fell on Black Days. Like, you know, Black Hole Sun is a really good song. I know Chris Cornell is probably my favorite rock singer of all time. Yeah, if you guys want to hear a really good Soundgarden song that's like just awesome and it has like a perfect combination of kind of like, I don't know, it's just a perfect balance of like, you know, emotion and just awesome like, you know, power, and it's Fell on Black Days. I'm pretty fly for a white guy. Oh my god. Yeah. If I could like play the songs, it would be easier for me to sing. When I'm like listening to it, I can like kind of sing along. I mean, nowhere near the talent of the singer, obviously, but you know, I can get the words better. Yeah, 4th of July is also one of my favorite songs. That's really cool. You know that, Plessy. A lot of people don't even know that song. It's a really, really good one. It's very like sludgy. I could like put on headphones and sing it. That would be good. That would be helpful. Never Gonna Give You Up by Rick Astley. You know what's really funny about Rick Astley is I kind of look like that guy a little bit. Like he looks like he could be like a cousin of mine or something, you know? Do I have a blocker up and everything? Yeah, I do. Okay, we're good. I just wanted to make sure. Because I can see Forsaken's army right now. Yeah, I bet you... I'm surprised there's not a band called Noise Marines. Yeah. Anna wants to start it. The Slanesh band called the Noise Marines. Yeah, Red Hot Chili Peppers are solid too. I'm a fan of them. I love the early Red Hot Chili Peppers. Like, not like super, super early, like kind of the mid-early 2000s stuff, like the, the By the Way and Can't Stop and like all those songs from those albums. Under the Bridge, Scar Tissue, like those songs were so good. Oh man, I remember listening to those a long, long time ago. Brings me back. So it looks like the two lads are picking their armies. Let me make sure they're not waiting for me. Arista Demo sends me a private message. He says, I do not guarantee for your viewers' entertainment. Oh God, he's gonna... Well, we're on a small map though. And the vampire counts are pretty good at hunting. So that probably means he's gonna have like some nasty kite. That's really funny. He sends me a warning. Yeah, Stone Temple pilots are good for sure. Shetland Patchy says, so do we think this is going to be a full flying circus? No, I think that Aristodamos is probably going to bring like a Waywatcher kite. I'm actually going to peek at his build because I'm really curious, Shetland. Oh, well, all right then. I don't really know what to say about that build. Oh, Creed, with arms wide open. Parallel Universe is a really good song too. I like that one a lot. Yeah, it's a great song. Any tips on getting better? I'm new to the online. TOK. I would recommend joining one of the Discord communities and then just finding people to play with. 2v2s are a pretty good place to like just learn the fundamentals because you're not going to be under as much pressure. But yeah, like getting, finding a friend to play with and practice with, obviously watching, various battles on people's channels can be helpful because you can get an idea for what builds are good, what units are good, how to use those units. Just really just putting your head to the stone and just, doing it to it. Yeah. Oh, 9 Inch Nails is awesome. Kieran J. Callanan, who's that? I don't know who that is. And I would use a face cam to chat with you guys between games, but I'm currently just in the boxers and shirtless, just doing it like a true adult here. So Holy Pilgrim, there's actually 8 games. There's 8 games, so it could actually be a tie. So we have this game, plus we have a 2v2. So if Aristodamos wins this, it brings it back up for QSA, and then they'll be down a game, and it could potentially be a tie. So we just got Tyrone Clark in here just saying he hates. I don't know what you hate, buddy, but hopefully everything's all right over there. The 2v2 is the last game. Yeah. Zach, what's going on, man? Oh, the lads are ready. Here we go, finally. After a bit of a technical delay, we've had our trials and tribulations on today's stream, but alas, we are back, and it is time. Let there be a reckoning. I'm doing really good. Thanks for asking. Graham Elliott, I don't always listen to German music, but when I do, do lost. That's pretty funny, dude. That was good. It's up to you, Arrow. You guys can just shoot me a message with what you guys want to do. I mean, the 2v2 could be worth 2 points to break the tie, like you said. So yeah. We could have I'm down to have the 2v2 be worth 2 points if you guys want that. If the clan leaders agree. It's up to you guys. But I mean, it also depends on how this game goes, so. Because if Aristodamos loses, then there's no chance for a comeback. There was a Rammstein song I used to listen to when I played World of Warcraft. Whenever I was fighting like raid bosses, I think it was called Meinherr Brents or I can't remember. This was like 2005, guys, so it was a long time ago. It's Meinherr Brent, I think is what it was called, or something like that. I got the screen blocker. It has been slain. So, Iggy and Arrow Krastic, Soothsayer, if you guys could message me with your decision on the 2v2, let me know. I am just the mouthpiece today. You guys are, of course, are deciding all the rules and players and everything, so you just let me know and it shall be done. Players are loading in, and I can assure you that the build here of Aristodamos is going to be quite interesting. Yeah, that's it, Flying Dutchman. Yeah, it's up to them, Shetland. It's not my call. Make a tiebreaker, Shetland versus Iggy. Shetland's in clan cycle charge though. So it would be Iggy says no, so that's a no. All right, so be it. So the only way that it can only be a tie. It can only be a tie. And I get that. That's fine. The 2v2 is a much more casual game, so, you know, why should that count for more than these glorious 1v1s? So be it, Anakin. All right, guys, so this is just a truly annoying build to play against. For Arista, he's got 4 Hawk Riders. 4 Hawk Riders. He does also have a Forest Dragon and then a Gladion Forest Dragon with the... a Glade Bro with the Helm of Discord. He's got a Spellsinger with Life, 2 Eternal Guard who are going to be probably hidden in the forest, and 1 group of Sisters of Thorn. Oh my god, this freaking build. Look at this build. Oh my god. Look at this disgusting, filthy... Oh, it's this huge Air Force. I mean, it's kind of a bit of a meme too, but it could work. I don't know. We'll find out. So, for the Vampire counts, they have a pretty standard army. So they have Graveguard, they have Skeletons, a metric ton of Fellbats, which actually will be very useful here. The Fellbats are going to be pretty annoying. I mean, could potentially, you know, tar pit some Hawk Riders and, you know, do their thing here. He's got the Red Duke, he's got Blood Knights, he's got a bunch of dogs, Vargulf, and that's it. The Hawk attack. It's going to be pretty funny. It's going to be funny. Yeah, I don't know. The Hawk Riders are very... You don't see them too often, but maybe this is like the Arista special, but... Yeah, I don't know. Because like typically against Elves, you're going to go super wide to kind of punish Way Watchers, so you're not going to be like super prepared for Hawk Riders. Now, Hawk Riders don't do a ton of damage. The thing is, like with their bows, they have to get like pretty good, you know, effective charges and whatnot, so... Yeah, and, you know, the Vampire counts should be able to kind of, you know, corner them relatively efficiently, but you also have to watch out to make sure the Red Duke doesn't get sniped. With the 2 dragons, like, he can get gooned out very well. Blood Knights are going to be very, very important here. Zyrepack is going to be huge. Vargulf will be okay, but the Vargulf is a very good target for the Hawk Riders. They could actually, you know, focus that down because it's very lightly armored for them, so... Yeah, we'll see how this goes. Not taking the air fight, just going to get sniped? Perhaps so. Perhaps so. You know, desperate times call for desperate measures. QSA is down 2 games. He's bringing out the Hawk Inquisition. Hawkmen dive! Yeah, and we'll see how this goes. So the first volleys are going to be shot in. Swing and a miss here as the Dire Pack is going to be falling back. And I got to read chat here. Oh, they're just saying ready. I thought the Forsaken was going to be like, God damn it, or something. Now, I think if the Fellbats are kind of held in a bit of a careful reserve while the Vampires kind of corner everything else, that could be a pretty good play. But obviously the Fellbats will lose to Hawk Riders pretty badly. So yeah, the Bats are going to be running now, which is probably smart. Yeah, the Spellsinger with Life is even on a bird. All kinds of treachery is afoot here. So the Hawk Riders are going to be sniping. Yeah, he's going to be going after the Red Duke. The Red Duke does have a shield and is pretty armored, so the Red Duke could probably just hide in like a tree line or something. Yeah, this is smart. So what the Vampires are doing here is they're going to be running into the trees and just taking up a Helm's Deep. And honestly, the Fellbats are doing some pretty good damage. Like, look at this. Fellbats are actually chipping down Hawk Riders and may actually kill models. So Fellbats really paying for themselves right here. The Hawk Riders are kind of losing this fight. Look at this. The Hawk Riders are like taking half their damage. Oh my goodness, this is a value train. I mean, is he going to break some Hawk Riders and chase them off the battlefield? If so, that is huge. I mean, so the Hawk Riders cost what, like 850, I think is what it is. So if he can kill a Hawk Rider and chase it off, I mean, it's going to, you know, really help considering the loss he's going to be taking here. Yeah, and these Hawk Riders are going to get chased off by the Fellbats. That's a nice pick right there. And over here, breath attacks are coming in, so Arista getting some juicy breath attacks on the Red Duke. And yeah, that's the thing. You got to be careful here. Other Fellbats are tying up these Hawk Riders, but yeah, the Hawk Riders getting chased off the battlefield is pretty big. And the other ones here might get chased off as well, but it looks like they have some supporting fire on the low ground here. But yeah, this other group of Fellbats might actually be able to kind of chase these guys off and do some work. Now back in the Box of Doom, it looks like more breath attacks coming down, but it looks like Forsaken is able to dodge that. And Invocation of Neck is going to be topping those guys off. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. And the Hawks are just sitting and taking pot shots. If the Red Duke sits amongst shields, it's going to be very tough to snipe him with bow attacks. And I'm surprised these Hawk Riders haven't ran off the battlefield yet. They should be going here in a second. And, you know, honestly, these Fellbats for Forsaken might be able to actually get these other Hawk Riders. It's a pretty slim chance, but fighting these Hawk Riders is probably your best bet. So the Fellbats doing their thing. And we'll see how this goes. They are crumbling now, which is a little bit unfortunate. The poison, of course, is going to be quite good on those Hagbane tips. And over here, we can see that, yeah, the dragons lurk overhead. The Red Duke is taking a bit of work. Arista is pretty healthy on ammunition, but he's going for the overhead breath attack. So what you do is you get right on top of the character and use a breath attack, and it literally like hits with like 100% of the breath attack. It's a really, really gross tactic. Felbat's completely disintegrated over here, so yeah, it's only a matter of time. Basically, now we just have to fast forward while they try and snipe out the Duke. And the Duke is going to be going down here, probably. Just, it's so freaking haggard. And Aristo's just getting those breath attacks, but he keeps canceling it. He's basically just waiting for the perfect breath attack where the Red Duke is like pinned. So right now is probably the best choice, because the Red Duke's just going to get melted here. Oh, that's so foul. And the Red Duke has stable binding, but not for long. Invocations are going to be going up, but there's probably still another breath attack here on this Glade Lord. The dragons are in pretty good shape, and yeah, it's one of those games to watch. I mean, at least he warned us. We'll see. I mean, what he can do. This is why the elves can't have nice things. So the Red Duke here is going to be getting Invocation to top him off, but the problem is his healing cap is going to be going off soon. And you can't really chase the elves here, because if you do, the problem being is that like the dragons will just intercept you. Although, you know, the Blood Knights could actually charge out. The Blood Knights could kind of surge forth and go for some of those goodies. Thankfully, though, the bats were able to, you know, finish off. Oh, another breath attack coming. Here it comes. And it doesn't make the best contact. That's pretty good, actually. Yeah, it hits the Duke. The Duke is juking. Balance of power a little bit in the favor of the Wood Elves, but not too much. Yeah, the breaths have made some okay contact. Unfortunately, this is a rule break for the vampire counts. How so? I mean, he has 2 Blood Knights. Single entities, he has 1 Vargulf. What, does he have too many skeletons or something? Oh, he had too many Felbats? Well, if so, you know, we'll just let it slide for now, because obviously it's not going to matter too much, I don't think. Aerocrostic, let me know how the rules was broken. If it's too many Felbats, like, whatever. So the Red Duke here is going to be getting shot. And 576 HP, and yeah, he's going to be going to town here. Fun match. Yeah, let me know, Arrow. I'm quite curious. So the Red Duke's going to be going down here. He's going to be dropping some zombies before he goes, which is smart. And yeah. You know, the thing is the balance of power is actually not as bad for the vampires as you would think, because, oh, does he get another invocation? No, he doesn't. Because of the freaking ammunition for the elves is really low. So eventually they're going to have to come in and fight this blob. He's not attacking? Oh, it's an attacking rule break. Okay. I mean, yeah, the thing is he can't, yeah, it's kind of a weird situation to be in, right? Because he can't even catch the, he can't even really catch the elves. It's just not possible. I mean, I guess if he just keeps giving attack orders to the direwolves and things like that. But anyways, we'll just let it roll for now. I mean, Arista is probably more than happy with this. So I could watch this for hours. Yeah. Yeah, he can see the Glade Riders. Yeah. I mean, his whole army could waddle, for sure. I don't think it's going to make much of a difference, though. Poor Forsaken. I feel bad for him. But, I mean, eventually Arista will, you know, have to jump in there. No, yeah, for sure. I know these aren't the most fun to watch. But, you know, all the other battles on the stream were pretty entertaining, so hopefully you guys can forgive this one this one miserable affair here. And I'm surprised the balance of power is still, like, you know. Yeah, this is why Vampire Counts needs to play the air game with Wood Elf, says Aerocrastic. Yeah, I mean, 1 Terrorgeist could help for sure. He can catch the 2 units of infantry, I guess. Yeah, I guess he could. But the problem is anything that goes in open field will just, like, you know, be picked off probably by the dragons plus the Helm of Discord. And the Forsaken, the Vargulf is going to be going down. Always nice to see vampires getting pooped on, says Loopy. Oh my god, it's so trollish. It's such a troll build. Oh my god. So the Vargulf is just going to be getting poked. You know, I actually have been seeing people bring, like, Terrorgeists against freaking... Yeah, and the dogs are going. So I think somebody may have informed him. It's an easy thing to forget. So here the dogs are going to be jumping after the Sisters of Thorn, just en masse. So it looks like direwolves, and the dragons are going to be landing soon. Arista is out of ammo now. So yeah, he's going to have to start using his stuff soon. Yeah, he's going to be landing with the birds. So 2 Vargeists, some flappy horses, and T-Gooses are pretty necessary. Interesting stuff. Yeah. And you can see here that the Hawk Riders are going to be smashed pretty quickly. I mean, the vampires aren't out of this game 100%. I mean, they certainly are in a losing situation, but like, they could still do okay. And then the big Alpha Strike, so the curse is going to be going down. Dragons plus Helm of Discord is probably going to melt this vampire army rather quickly, but the Hawk Riders will be taking a lot of losses for sure. But the dragons are going to be very tough to take down because the only thing that can really deal with the dragons are the Blood Knights, and the Blood Knights are a little bit tattered, and there's no invocations to heal them up. So it's going to be interesting. If was a bad, yeah. It is what it is, guys. It's the final cockfight here. As you can see, the Graveguard and these other troops are going to be fighting to the bitter end. Sisters of Thorny Company and all these guys, you know, grinding it out. And that's the thing. You basically just butter them up with all your ammo, and then you come in for an Alpha Strike with your Curse plus the Helm of Discord, and it's pretty strong, for sure. Vampires didn't really have too many tools to stop it. So some of the tournament players in chat are mentioning that it's pretty common for Vampires to bring the Terrorgeists and a bit of an Air Force to kind of contest this, which I can actually see. Like the double Terrorgeist here. But against Waywatchers, that's the thing. But I don't think Waywatchers are probably that great against Vampire. I mean, they are good against Vampire counts, but Vampires are really good at swarming. Like, they have cheap Knights like Black Knights, Direwolves, things like that, Felbats, so they can really tarp at the bowline here. Is this Game of Thrones Season 8? Yeah, I mean, the Wood Elves, the birds are actually getting their gooses cooked, for sure. Sisters of Thorn are pretty beat up, and all the Hawk Riders are kind of, you know, getting grinded down, but the thing is there's no stopping power. You have 2 Graveguard here, that's pretty much it. Everything else is just kind of chaffy and weak, and dragons are going to have no problem chewing through these forces, so... yeah, he says I don't mind losing. Arista says sorry for doing this. You're not sorry. You wouldn't have done it in the first place if you're sorry. Yeah. Vampire account has some of the strongest Air Force in the game when they commit, says Sheldon. Yeah, I suppose so. So that's going to be that. The Vampires being Wood Elfed pretty hard, for sure. The Flying Circus. You know, I was really expecting Waywatchers, you know, just kind of kiting and sniping out the Blood Knights and then just pulling them apart that way, but man, that is a whole nother level of Wood Elf kite. Well, guys, don't worry. We're going to be getting a fun 2v2 now. So we will go ahead and jump over to that 2v2. So QSA is going to be pulling up a game, and it could potentially be a tie here. So we'll see how this goes in this next match. So let's go ahead and open up the 2v2s. And for a 2v2 map, let me see who's playing. So we have Wicked. Wicked will be joining. And then we have 2 2v2 guys coming in from AIMA. That was certainly an interesting one. Certainly an interesting one. And Dobb says, I would feel bad, but it was vampires. All right, so we'll see. So Nalth is in here, and as far as the map goes, let's go ahead and do... we could do an ambush battle. You guys want to do an ambush battle? Oh my god, that would be so janky. Like, just one team just has to get ambushed. We probably want to do a map that's a little bit bigger. So let us go ahead and do... All hail the mighty, they're rising from the deep. Always the Wood Elves to spoil the party, says Sotek. Alright, in 2v2, it's going to be... I have to pick a map, though. Jesus, what map do we want to do? Borderlow is a weird one. I know some of these are... A couple of these maps are bugged. We could do Altdorf. Red Desert is a really weird one. You guys want to do Skilled? Like one of the biggest maps in the game? Skilled would be a little bit ridiculous for sure. You guys want to do Skilled for this 2v2? I mean, it's a 2v2, right? So, yeah, we'll see how this goes. Shetland, what do you think about Skilled here? Yeah, Alpine Ridge. Alpine Ridge is cool too. I mean, Vampire Coast can bring artillery. I kind of want to do this map. It brings me back to the Everchosen, in which we had like a crazy long battle between the Empire and the Vampire Coast. You guys want it? You guys want the Skilled? It's coming. It's time. So we have the Vampire counts. Nope, he's switching to High Elves, actually. Skilled. Big map. Beware. I'm just letting the players know it's a big map. It's got some size. Oh my god. This map is a goodie. It is indeed. Yeah, Arrow. That's Aerocrastic. That's a really good point, man. You certainly, there's a reason that rule exists. Yeah. Man, this is gonna be something. I hope there's got to be some artillery. So pick and ban. What are they doing? Picks and bans? It's 2v2. Is that what they're doing? No way. I mean, they could, I guess. All right, so let's go ahead and get the screen blocker up so I can start peeking at the armies. So it's going to be Bretonnia Wood Elves versus Greenskins Coast, it looks like. Guys are doing that. Are we doing a 4v4 tiebreak? We'll just have a tie. We'll have a tie, I guess. Oh, okay, so they are doing picks and bans. Oh, okay. Okay. So they are doing a pick and ban system. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. No, they're actually doing a pick and ban, it looks like. Yeah. It looks like Wicked has a wolf as his icon. Or some sort of a dog beast. That still only counts as one. No, it's going to be 1 point. I think one of the clans wanted to just keep it as 1 point, so that's what it's going to be. All hail and mighty. I know, we're going in. I mean, if they go with an Air Force and Vampire Coast brings a couple cannons, like, yeah. Like, on Skjold against Wood Elves and Bretonnia, I 100% expect artillery from Vampire Coast. Like, they should do that. If they bring, like, 2 cannons, it'll keep them honest. Like, that Air Force will have to come fight. And, like, plus a handgun line, like, with the black spot, like, you're going to be fine. Plus, if Greenskins come in with Effigy of the Git, you know, and handle an infantry game and just let Vampire Coast go balls deep with their gun lines. But it looks like he's going to be... Oh, no, he's going Dwarves. Okay. So now for pick. So they banned... they banned Wood Elves. They banned Wood Elves. Oh, that's really funny. That's so funny. They banned the Wood Elves. It's up... Yeah, it's up to the clans, honestly. Whatever they want to do, so... I did mention that this would be potentially be a 2-point game, but one of the clans didn't want to do that. So yeah, that's that. So far, we've had 7 games, and it's currently 4-3 with Clan AIMA in the lead. They just need to win this 2v2, and that'll close it out. Yep. Dwarf Army's looking pretty good. I like the way it jams. I think it's got some good tools. Oh man, this force is pretty cool. The elves and the dwarves definitely looks elves and dwarves. So the forces of, you know, good. It's like the pre-War of the Beard Bro team, you know, like back in the days of old, and they're going to be facing off against the vampires and the greenskins. It looks like. So if Wookiee was in the game, he would be a beast of Nurgle for sure. Yeah. Wookiee would be a beast of Nurgle, 100%. Wood Elves very strong. Yeah, Wood Elves are good. I think Wood Elves can be an oppressive faction against newer players because like it feels like you can feel very helpless against a good Wood Elf player. But in tournament play, like when you have 2 equally skilled players, like, you know, who play in the mainstream tournament circuit, like, you know, it's they're a little bit more predictable. Granted, I mean, we saw what Zyphos did with them in the ECL finals. Man, he was just a destroyer of worlds. So, yeah, so we'll see how this goes. Picks and bans are done. So we got dwarves, greenskins facing off against vampires, and oh my god, this orc build is ridiculous. It is just next level, over the top. You guys know that commercial with like the Men's Warehouse or whatever, where he's like, "You're gonna like the way you look, I guarantee it." It's kind of like that. Matthew Smith, thank you for the $10 donation. Streams are the best way to finish a day at work, and this is some of the best. Matthew Smith, thank you. Hopefully you guys enjoyed those glorious Dawi games earlier too. That certainly lifted my spirits, and I shall go forth into this day with a renewed sense of purpose having seen my fellow Dawi conquer and despoil their enemies. But yes, this is going to be the last match of the day. QSA is on the ropes. They could tie it up here, which would be happy hugs for everyone. But Greenskins and Vampires facing off against High Elves and Dwarves. So the pre-War of the Beard Bro squad coming in. Certainly has a lot of potential. Certainly does. I wonder what the Vampires are going to bring. I'm quite curious. Skilled is a huge map. So I just wanted to have like a ridiculous battle here at the end. So I don't know if the players understand how truly big this map is, since you almost never see it. But I figure in 2v2 it's going to make for some interesting stuff, you know. Oh, some delicious water. So Gojira, we're closing out this clan war with a 2v2. And you know what I might do, actually, in the next couple weeks? I think we'll do a 2v2 tournament. I think that'd be fun, right? You guys want to see a 2v2 tournament? It's been a while since we've done that, and it seems like you guys are hyped for this, so maybe we'll do that. One Man's Way, thank you for the donation. I'm broke, but this game is dope. One Man, oh man. Sorry to hear that. Thank you for the donation, man. And I'm glad you're enjoying the Magic streams as well. Thank you so much for that. Dwarves High Elves is a very nasty combo. I think it's quite good, and I'm sure that these two fine gentlemen have played together, Nauth and Loch Lamora. So we'll see which team has the better synergy and micro today. Water. It's what plants crave. Look at this photograph. Every time I do, it makes Wookiee laugh. Yeah, these builds are pretty great. The Vampire build, like, I feel like he has more money to spend. I don't know what they're probably discussing tactics here. So Nauth is ready. I think the Dwarves and High Elves are ready here. And it's really going to come down to the... Wicked's good to go. His army's just it's something. So Gawk Thim says, Turin, we're apparently the same age. Are you balding yet? No, I'm not experiencing the Spartacus. No, I'm not balding yet. You see, the thing is, I think there's like, I don't know, perhaps some of you guys who are more educated here as it pertains to genetics can explain, but I don't know. Do you get typically do people get the hair genetic from their father or mother's side? Because I'm pretty sure it's from the mother's side. I have no idea. I could be 100% wrong. But basically on my dad's side, there's a little bit of balding. A little bit, but on my mom's side, like even my grandpa who recently passed away, he had like a glorious head of hair until he was like 80. Until the day he passed on. Yeah, he had like just a glorious like flowing mane. Like he always had it. So I think I'll be okay in that department. Electrolytes are what plants crave. Get him, Skeeter. So Arista's build now is very normal, actually. Yeah, everything looks good. Yeah, I believe it's the mom's side. Mother's side, yeah. So I have my mom's side, yeah. The hair. Thank you, guys. Man, so many people know that. Is that like common knowledge? I was expecting like one person who's like in that field to know. Mother's father's side, yeah. So my mom's dad has like a glorious head of hair, yeah. Okay. All right. Balding comes from the father's side. Okay, a lot of mixed opinions here. It says it's on X chromosome, but you can't tell if it's from the mother or father's because you don't know if you got your mom's father. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Interesting discussion. You just gotta plant seeds in your scalp and sit in the sun. Oh man, that's kind of gross. All right, I'm gonna ready up here. It's so Clan AIMA coming out with the aggression here, guys. They're ready to go. They've been ready. They're trying to send a message of intimidation to Clan QSA. And will it work? We find out here in this next battle. One Man's Way says, guess I'll be bald then. Yeah, I have my grandpa's hair though, so he's got a glorious mane, so I think I'll be okay. My real dad, his hair is thinning a little bit in his 60s, but he's had hair for most of his life. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. Total War stream genetics. Yeah. Chia plant hair. Oh, they're looking at my dad's IMDb page. Yeah, I mean, he has a pretty good... My dad has still got his hair going on. Although I don't know if his IMDb page is going to have like up-to-date stuff. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Hard to say. Mr. Eggy says, "What is going on with the balding in chat?" Well, somebody asked me if I was balding because I'm in my 30s, and I'm like, I don't think so. I mean, my hairline has gone back a tiny bit, but it's not really noticeable. I'm basically going to be growing my hair out long right now. I'm going for the straight up Bible look because I want to be able to be an extra in the Lord of the Rings TV show. I'm going for it. Yeah, my dad is a television actor, yes. I probably won't be playing Minecraft. I used to play it, but honestly, there's so much clicking in that game, and my hands couldn't really handle it anymore, sadly, so. F for Spartacus. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how I would look without hair. It'd be interesting. But I want to grow a mullet sometime. Like maybe to celebrate like the launch of like Warhammer 3 when that eventually comes out, I'll just like have a glorious mullet on stream. We'll see. Man, so much knowledge being dropped here in chat. All right, guys, the 2v2 on Skilled is here, so let's go ahead and get rid of the screen blocker before I forget. Look at this glorious map. It is so big. You can tell by just scrolling back and forth like how long it takes to get across the map. And up here, you're going to have one army deploying on this hill and one on this hill, so it very much becomes like a Napoleonic war, which I was kind of hoping for, like a Napoleonic battle, just gun lines and bow lines firing at each other. Garland Green, thank you for the 50 SEK. Slightly receding hairline, but my beard is glorious. Dude, I can't grow a beard to save my life. I can't. It really makes me sad. A skillet? What is it? So, not just a mullet, but a skillet? Now he tens. No worries, man. No worries, tens. Garland Green, thank you for the donation again, man. Much appreciated. Yeah, I'll have a mullet for you guys eventually. Someday. Celebrate 100K with a mullet. Well, that's probably going to be a ways off, actually. You know, something I've noticed is that, so when I was putting up, there was a period of time where I was putting up like 2 videos a day and streaming once a week. I actually got a lot more subscribers because YouTube puts a kind of a search preference on videos rather than streams. Because like I don't think streams get like shared as much in recommended videos and other things like that. So when I commit a lot to like big streams, people don't really like, YouTube doesn't really share them and like recommend them to new people as much as they do like just video content. So I should probably start putting up like, I mean, I still put up a lot of videos, which is fine, but I noticed that I was growing quite a bit faster when I was doing the other way around. But I mean, it doesn't matter. Streams are way more fun. So yes. Good, Anakin. Who's the weakest faction? It's hard to say. It's kind of a tough question because even the factions that have a lot of bad matchups have some really good ones. So we're going to be on Skilled. It's time. Grombrindal, the White Dwarf. Is he here? No, it's going to be a Rune Lord. So the Dwarves are going to be handling the front line for Team AIMA here. They got Longbeards across the entire front line, Miners in the secondary, and the Elves are going to be bringing the Archers. So they have Sisters of Avalorn, they have the Lothran Seaguard with Shield, Sisters, and of course the Dwarven Artillery Corps. So they do have a cannon, and a Grudge Thrower. And I believe there's actually a Master Engineer here who's going to be buffing them, or at least there was in the initial build, but he may have cut it. So yeah, as you would expect, Dwarves are handling infantry and artillery. Elves are going to be handling bows. Looks like on the high ground there are some Fireborn and some Slayers, of course, defending the back line. High Elf Spearmen in reserve, and a Mage with high magic, which is quite nice. Being able to heal Dwarven troops is very, very cost effective. So I like that quite a bit. So that's it. That's what you got there. Going to be a good time. Now for the forces of QSA. Looks like we got zombies in the front line. We do, of course, have skeleton spearmen across the entire second. And the orcs, you know, vampires, you know, they don't really have any prowess with bows. So, you know, they might as well get the best archers in the world, right? So they go and they recruit the orcs. And here in the secondary line, we have Orc Airboys into the sunset, which is going to be ridiculous. Doomdiver catapults as well. So there is going to be an artillery duel, but the dwarves should 100% win that with focus fire. So 4 Doomdiver catapults in the back. We got Wurzog on his pig. We got a Necrarch Vampire Lord and a Vargul. So the undead basically handle the infantry and chaff and a little bit of monstrous pressure. And the greenskins come in with a massive firing core of Orc Airboys and 4 Doomdiver catapults. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Here it comes. Here comes the battle of all battles, skilled. This is very much, this is a pretty good map for like big epic 2v2s, but instead of spreading out, the dwarves are actually going to be taking a Helm's Deep. And the range advantage, 440 on the cannon, and the Doomdiver catapults are 400, so the cannons can certainly outrange them. And I think 2 cannons plus a grudge thrower could probably kill all of these artillery pieces. But I wonder if they're going to. I don't know. It'll be interesting to say. I mean, it's a pretty good little position here for the people up on the high ground. Satisfy the grudge! It's a lot of DACA for sure. We'll see how this goes as they are up here on the high ground position. 1 point for whatever clan wins here. Yeah, it's going to be really, really interesting to see how this goes. Truly the box of the gods here. We'll see how this goes. This is going to be... I wonder if the Doomdiver catapults will be able to pull them out of this box. I wonder. I mean, honestly, the Orc Airboys can do some work too. Do not talk of this end times here. I actually, like, at least once a week, like when I'm just sitting, you know, when I'm like in the shower, just kind of sitting and having those shower thoughts, I actually get genuinely sad that Warhammer Fantasy's gone. I'm just like, I sit there and I'm like, oh man, like, I wish I could have played that, or I wish I could just buy like an Empire army right now. Like, I actually get legit sad for like, you know, a couple minutes, at least once a week. I can only imagine how people who actually played the game, you know, feel. So the Vampire... So what's actually going to happen here is that the Vampire is going to go Overcast Spirit Leech on the Dwarven Artillery. Now, what's really funny about that is that they have Apotheosis. So they're going to be able to heal the artillery from the Spirit Leech spam, which is going to be very, very interesting. So I wonder if the players realize how truly big this map is. Nope, they're just saying good luck, have fun. So, yeah, the Spirit Leech is going to be coming in. Yeah, I mean, normally it would be good for sniping cannons. Like 3 or 4 Spirit Leeches could probably finish off a cannon. But with the Apotheosis coming in from the high magic, you can actually heal the Dawi cannons. And what the Vampire may be doing here is also trying to bait out the ammunition, but I think that the Dwarves and the High Elves know this. They should just be scooting forward and getting pot shots into the Doomdiver catapult. So both armies are scooting forward here, which is good. You know, they're not going to be camping in the corner and things like that, so... I know. Slav squats in the shower, yeah, while smoking a cigarette and just you know, pondering life. Are there any nets here? It looks like we have a Lithanar. So Lithanar is going to be taking some pot shots, it looks like. Archers are going to be shooting in, but of course Aristidamos is going to juke that. It's pretty easy to do, actually. You just kind of strafe back and forth, and it's easy to juke out the arrows. But Lithanar's bolts are a little bit more accurate, so if he's not careful, I mean, this Vampire could get popped in the face pretty hard if he slips up for like even a second. Lithanar's tracing bow there, missing pretty bad. And you can see that the Vampire, like, don't waste ammo on the Vampire. Just advance on the rest of the force, because shooting this guy isn't going to be the best. Spirit Leech is actually going to be going down on the High Mage, which is fine. But Apotheosis will pretty much counter that out if used effectively. So, I mean, I would be fine with that if I were the High Elf player right there. I wouldn't even care. So yeah, keep scooting up here. Get the cannons in range of the Doomdiver catapults. We're going to have very much a Napoleonic war here. Obviously, this is, you know, AIMA needs this. If they win this, it's over. They're going to be claiming a glorious victory for their clan. But if they do drop this, it's going to be a tie, which is fine. You know, it's certainly better than a loss, but, you know, obviously they still want this win here. So Doomdiver Catapult's going to be going in. The Goblobber is actually shooting at the Vampire, which is definitely not what they want to be doing. And you can see the Orcs and the Vampires scoot out their Vampire artillery. They scoot out their Orc artillery. These Doomdiver Catapults are going to be going in. And, yeah, here it comes. The war of the artillery here on Skilled, which is such a cool looking map. Look at that Aurora Borealis over there, and the big kind of ribcage of some just ancient beast of old. Very, very cool looking map. I think you can kind of see its face right there. Some sort of titanic creature. So the cannons are going to be shooting in, and the Doomdiver catapults are, you know, going to be a little bit outmatched in that respect. And honestly, I wouldn't mind running a Lithanar over here and just having him shoot at the Vampire. I don't think that's a bad idea, but it looks like a Lithanar is going to be shooting at the artillery. He's pretty good at sniping RD pieces. Granted, the Goblin ones are pretty small targets, but that's a direct hit right there on that Doomdiver catapult. So here they come, and it looks like another Spirit Leech going down on the High Mage, which is just going to be probably healed with Apotheosis, I would imagine. And the Doomdivers are now returning fire, so we have our Napoleonic duel. Yeah, I kind of like this. This is like, this battle, there's going to be like phases, right? The first phase is the artillery phase. The second phase is going to be, you know, the main lines advancing, the bow phase. Yeah. I have some really weird shower thoughts, like really weird. Like, I'll randomly just think of like, oh, I wonder what would win in a fight between these two ridiculous, like, you know, entities or animals. Like, oh, I wonder, like, I just have these strange things. Like, just these machinations about, like, owning a castle and just having, like, a medieval society. Like, very, very weird stuff. But anyways, right here you can see the Doomdiver catapult's going to be taking some shots. The orcs did pull back that crew, so very good micro there from Wicked. He does pull back that Doomdiver crew before they get mulched. And they're going to be returning fire. So we'll see which faction is going to give first. Who is going to engage? It looks like the orcs and the undead are going to be actually advancing, so they're not going to be trying to artillery duel, which is smart because they'll be losing it, I think. But QSA is coming in pretty hard. They have a wide army. Granted, the dwarves are going to be more than happy to kind of tank this. And another sniping attempt here on the mage. I'm surprised he didn't bring Tempest. Like, if he had brought Tempest, he could have just Tempested this vampire down and pretty much like one-shotted him. So that's a damn shame that he didn't bring Tempest. Spirit Leech is going down again, but it looks like the Apotheosis is not going to be used to heal the mage, actually. He's using it on the sisters, who are taking a bit of a pounding there, but so far, good trade for the dwarves and high elves. 2 Doomdiver catapults essentially being offline is pretty good. That's like 1,700 gold or 1,800, I think. They're 900 apiece. And the sisters are going to be taking some shots into the vampire, who does have the immortal will, so he's going to be able to heal himself, which is quite good. And the orc archers are going to be, the volume of fire might actually be able to win the bow trade, but I think the elf archers at this point, they need to start shooting into the orcs. Like, they need to start pounding down this missile line and be ready for the flank over here. Vargulfs are coming in, Blood Knights, Squigs. There's going to be a lot of pressure coming in, but the dwarven artillery is still shooting. And I don't know, maybe stop going after the Doomdivers at this point. I think he's got to start worrying about the big monsters on the flank. Now, one group of the Sisters of Avalorn is pretty much offline. The vampire just trolling about, just kind of flying and cackling and being an evil vampire, just as you would expect. And the sisters are going to be shooting into the orcs here. So the orc airboys are going to be taking a ton of damage. And Olithanar, he could start sniping some of the greenskin casters. This Doomdiver catapult probably going to be going down here in a second, I would imagine, from some focus fire. But orc airboys, with sustained fire, can actually do some work. And the Fireborn have emerged from out in the trees back here. And the High Mage is broken. So the Mage is gone. The vampire was able to cackle, and that's why you bring Tempest. Like, against greenskins and vampires, Tempest isn't bad for Azag or flying threats. So I think that was a pretty big mistake there. So you can see here the archers are still shooting, taking apart these orc airboys, but the orcs certainly have the numbers advantage. Lothar and Seaguard are going to be trading super effectively here. One group of sisters is offline, so they're shattered, and the other sisters are in okay shape. Doomdiver catapults are going to be focusing them though, which is quite good. And now, really, we're going to see if they can hold. Missile attack's going to be going on Olithanar. It looks like this little goblin's going to be dropping it, or I saw some sort of missile attack being activated. Vindictive Glare going down, and it pops Olithanar in the face pretty good. That was good damage. Did about 500-600 damage there, so certainly can't complain. And now the greenskins and vampire counts are going to be getting a nice surround here. So they're coming in, they're getting ready to party. And honestly, the Orc Airboys, just with their sheer haggardness and just glorious volume, are getting us around and just shooting into the Lothar and Seaguard, which I don't know if they're going to be able to hold here. Handmaiden of the Everqueen is also going to be quite good. She is an anti-large specialist with her bow and melee attacks. But in the back, the High Mage has been chased off by the Cackling Vampire. And oh, this is going to be good for the Elves. So a massive Fireborn charge into the Dirk and Squigs. Those guys are going to get punished. And from there, he can probably peel off and go after these other Night Goblins. But that's a really good pick right there. The other Squigs might be going in, but there are spears to defend. So if they are paying attention here, and Nauth is able to kind of get here. But you know, you can see that Wicked is actually microing through really effectively. Look at that masterful movement by Wicked. He moves up and through these spears, and it looks like the High Elves and Dwarves lapsed for 1 second. And they're going to pay the ultimate troll toll. Like, that was a really, really good control there by Wicked. I love that. Orc Archers and company are shooting in, and the High Elf Archers are actually losing this duel. I mean, it's just kind of a numbers game at this point. And Olithanar and company here are trying their best, and it looks like a fat Spear Leech is going to be going down here on the Fireborn as they charge back in to kind of clean up the Night Goblin Squighoppers. But that was still a really good value trade. He killed the cannon, and he punished the sisters. So very, very good micro there. That was some good stuff. Savage Orc Airboys and company going to be shooting in, going after whatever they can hit at this point. They might want to scoot up and actually take out that cannon. I think that might be a bit of a better target than shooting miners. And it looks like he is scooting up, and yeah, he's going to be going after the cannon. The Vampire Lord in the back is going to be just going for the scraps, looking for the goodies. And the Fireborn have successfully cleaned up the Greenskin threat in the back line, but still, it's they've taken a lot of damage in the process. They've lost a lot of stuff. The Slayers seem a little bit stagnant here. Those guys need to get moving. They need to, you know, start screening out some of these units. I mean, those Squigs getting in, honestly, is a game-winning play, potentially. Archers are going to be shooting cannons. Ammunition for the Greenskins is pretty good. One Doomdiver is just 100% offline. The other Doomdiver catapult is, you know, semi-functional. But, I mean, this other Doomdiver, yeah, 100% dead. So the Dwarves have actually really been focusing those pieces down. Fireborn going to get hit with Spirit Leech once again as the Vampire Lord does fly away and cackle. Karke Vampire Lord does have access to a couple different spells, but it looks like just Invo and Raise Dead. He's going to be using those for this particular game. And the Orc Archers are just, the haggard bows of the gods are just shooting in. Look at this. Just the bows are just so obnoxious, just shooting in there and sniping out the Dwarven artillery pieces. So guys, apparently Orc Airboys are the hard counter against Dwarven cannons. Very, very good play here by the Vampires in the back, chasing off the very tattered Lothran Seaguard, and probably going to get these Altar's Raiders, unless here we can see that Locke is going to be sweeping in, taking out these Fellbats. Fellbats will probably go down here to the Slayers. They're going to have a problem getting away because now they're very, very slowed here. And the Vampire Caster in the back going to be taking some fire from the Handmaiden plus the Sisters of Averlorn. So he's actually getting buttered up pretty good. Immortal Will is going to kind of help him. But really, is the Dwarf front line going to be able to kind of endure this? Blasting Charge is coming down, which is quite good. And aside from these monstrous units, I mean, in Archers, the Greenskin and Vampire army isn't really that strong. It's a very, very close game, actually. I mean, a lot of damage has been taken here, but of course, better leadership on this side of the board. The Greenskin Archer Corps, these ones are pretty much offline, but there's still a few over here. The Rusty Errors and these Orc Air Boys are actually, pretty beat up. But yeah, they're still going to be able to put some pressure here and maybe even finish off these Lothran Seaguard. Fellbats swooping around the back, looking for opportunities to chase off routing units here. But the Necrarch Vampire Lord's going to be flying in, actually landing here right in front of some Slayers. So if Locke is paying attention and he's able to get the Slayers, that could be a really nice catch. If you could slow them and then actually surround with the Fireborn, that could be a game-winning situation. So you move past him first instead of just charging. So you want to get the surround, right? So the Fireborn need to be moved up here. You don't just charge him like that. You move past him and then you attack. Oh, and the Moonbow coming in for a huge blow right there. And suddenly the Necrarch Vampire Lord is marched by Althar and he's getting his bread buttered pretty good. On top of that, the Vampire of Death here up in the sky is crumbling. He's been taking a ton of damage here from what looks to be the Lothran Seaguard and some of these other troops. So that was a really good series of events there for the Dwarf High Elf combination. But you know, QSA here still has quite a bit of stuff. Warzog's kind of squealing like a pig here in the back. Doomdiver catapults, one over there, one over there. Yeah, the catapults are pretty much going to be like a relatively insignificant threat at this point. And when the Orc Airboys run out of ammo, that's going to be something, all right. So the Dwarf Cannon has one cannon left. The Handmaiden's out of ammo. The Sisters are out of ammo. Both armies are starting to run a little bit kind of bare bones on ammunition. And where is Elithanar? Where's our boy? Is he still alive? Fireborn here? Yeah, he's here. And Elithanar still has a little bit of ammo, so he can certainly put some pressure on the Vampire Caster up here in the sky. And here come the Archers getting peppered down by the Orc Airboys. The Orc Airboys are just the MVPs this game. Those guys have been doing just some great work kind of peppering into these forces. But it's going to be really tough to actually crack this Dwarven formation. I mean, a Rune Lord, Norgrimling's Ironbreakers, like Longbeards, that is going to be no joke. I mean, the High Elves still have some Spearmen as well as White Lines as well. So the Doomdiver Catapults and the Orc Archers probably just going to expend all of their ammunition here. And I think the Orcs and the High Elves, or excuse me, the Dwarves and the High Elves are just going to take that. I don't think they really need to push out. Like, it's kind of pointless. They have a good formation, but no, it looks like they're going to push out. They're going to start forcing some engagements against the Vampires here, which I suppose isn't bad. I mean, it depends on what they have to protect here. The Dwarven Cannon is still shooting, and I wonder what it's going to snipe. Yeah, it looks like it's still sniping Doomdiver Catapults. Like, if you look at the targets here, it looks like it's shooting over there. Elithanar with a bow shot, coming in and picking off some skeletons, so he needs to make sure to put Elithanar on fire, taking off fire at will, because if Elithanar is shooting on his own, he's just going to be shooting, you know, skeletons and targets that are a complete waste of his time. So it looks like the forces are going to be pressing forward. Doomdiver Catapults are pretty much all offline, and I mean, he may want to leave some spears to protect this cannon. It's still a useful asset. And up on the high ground, some Blood Knights are going to be coming in. Ooh, that's actually a pretty good like late game boon right there. So Dwarves are advancing, and you can see here that the Undead are going to be falling back a little bit, obviously not wanting to give the Dwarves a straight fight. They probably want to like pull them up the hill a little bit and then do a downhill charge here. Doomdiver Catapults. Oh, was I actually able to see what that Doomdiver was shooting? It like drew an arrow to its target, it looks like. Doomdivers 100% want to be focusing against these Sisters. That's a really, really good choice here. But the Slayers are still going to be a pretty big menace here. Orc Airboys up on the high ground. Shooting the Slayers is like the best choice, 100%. And yeah, unfortunately that cannon is going to get taken out back there by the Fellbats, which is, it still had some punch in it. So I probably would have tried to invest in protecting that a little bit. Vindictive Glare is going to be coming down, and it smacks Elithanar right in his Elven Dome piece. And we're going to see how he does. But yeah, the Dwarves and the Elves are moving pretty much out of ammo in every respect. They have a little bit of ammo here on these Lothran Seaguard. Up on the high ground, Blood Knights are just going to be skewering into these miners, which is going to be a good charge. Althar's Raiders might be able to get some work, and the Handmaiden of the Everqueen actually does have an anti-large bonus, and she does take out a single Blood Knight with her attack right there. Fireborn coming in for a counter charge, but they are very, very beaten up here. And if they actually take this charge, they are 100% dead. The Blood Knights will turn around and kill them. The Vargulf here is lurking. He can turn around and, yeah, the Vampires turn around, take the charge. They take a little bit of damage, but the Fireborn are 100% going to get melted. Now, Bounce Fire is still even. Dwarves and High Elves have a ton of stuff left. The Runesmith, though, gets isolated. I think the Dwarves need to move down here and protect this very important asset. I don't think you can give that up for free. Longbeards are going to be able to clean up zombies, which is 100 gold, which still counts for something. Spearmen are going to be coming in to chase the Blood Knights, but Blood Knights, of course, with good micro, are not going to get caught by Spearmen. And the Orc Airboys are still shooting. This is quite a fierce battle, for sure. Very, very technical stuff. And you can see here that Elithanar is still has some punch left. And Doomdiver Catapults has one here. Two there. Is that two, or is that two crew members left? Looks like two pieces up there, I think, from those guys. Yeah, and it looks like just one piece here. So still effectively four Doomdiver catapults still shooting, which is, significant. And the Handmaiden of the Everqueen, actually a pretty good choice against the Vargulf, because she does have anti-large and melee. She just lacks the AP of the Noble, but against lightly armored targets like Vargulf, she's quite good. And the Dwarves are able to form a bit of a screen here. The Blood Knights took a couple casualties down to, let me just move my feet. The feet are getting a little bit tired here, guys. And the Blood Knights are in pretty good shape, so that's going to be tough to take out. But the Dwarven Slayers, are they still online? It looks like up on the high ground, some of these Skeleton Spearmen are going to be dying to Longbeards, but I don't think there's really any Slayers left, guys. Like, that's going to be a big problem, not having any Slayers, but he does have a Rune Lord, and if he has Runes of Wrath and Ruin, he should 100% be using that on the Blood Knights. Blood Knights are like the choicest target here. And what do the Greenskins have for a Lord? In the back, he has Night Goblin Squig Hoppers. Oh, man. So Wicked may have actually forgotten about these guys. There's two Squig Hoppers up in the high ground. Man, those things would be huge right now, but perhaps they'll come into the late game and make a pretty big difference. But if he did forget about those guys, that would be unfortunate. So here, the Norgumling's Ironbreaker is going to be taking the majority of the pounding. Obviously, one of the more high-value units here, but eventually this will devolve into a fight. And, once the missiles do run out for the Greenskins, they will have to attack. And you can see the Undead are going to be moseying on down the hill. Do they have any good troops? Zombies, Skeleton Warriors, Graveguard, Stearnsmen. So they do have some troop quality. Wurzog's really low, man. He must have gotten sniped by Lithanar early. Like, really, really early on. And the High Elves and Dwarves, I mean, you could tell both clans do not want to lose this clan war. They're both fighting for the pride of their people. Oh, look at that. 4 Slayers left. These guys are the true heroes. They're the true heroes. Look at these guys coming in. Vargulf's going to be surging in as well. Going to be guerrilla pounding some miners, I'm sure. There's not really any reason for him not to, because there's no punishing elements nearby. So he's going to be able to come in and just get some free kills in the miners. Why not? You've got to take freebies. Skeleton Spears up in the high ground do break, so both armies are losing things. And, I feel like, everything is so low. Neckarch Vampire Lord, this Vampire is low. And the Dwarves might be able to endure this, I think. So the guys with dragons winning, says Falcon. I don't know. It's a really close battle, actually. Lithanar is now out of ammunition, so he's expended everything. He's pretty much just like a haggard melee lord now. And the Rune Lord here is probably wielding a single Rune of Wrath and Ruin. I would imagine he's saving some of that. And the Vampires are surging in now. So the Tithe is going to be coming in, and the Rune Lord and the Rune Smith are going to be fighting here. And yeah, that Handmaiden is going to be a really big asset here. She's going to be the one that really has to take out the Vampires and these big targets. She'll have to burn through the witches and slam through the ditches, and and all that good stuff. So it looks like the main fighting's underway. The Wa is going to be affected. So the zombies, hearing the war cry of the Greenskin War Boss, are going to be motivated to smash and grab and just have all that fun stuff. And the Spearmen going to be surging in to meet. And the troop quality of the Dwarves and the High Elves is certainly better, but there are a couple terror-causing monsters here. The Neckarch Vampire Lord, plus the Vargulf, I think, is still lurking somewhere. And I think there's still some Blood Knights that are somewhat healthy as well. Over here we do have the Dwarves, so the Slayers and the Longbeards are going to be going after the Vargulf, which is going to be running. Definitely don't want to overchase that, because the Greenskins and everyone are collapsing now, so this is like the final battle here. The Rune of Wrath and Ruin mistakenly used on the Tithe. That's a huge mistake. I think that it needs to be used on the Blood Knights, because it would kill a lot of models and do pretty good damage. So, I understand wanting to clear them out quickly, but that's a big mistake. That needs to be used on Blood Knights or higher value targets. Over here, the Handmaiden of the Everqueen is going to be fighting shoulder to shoulder with the Norgumling's Ironbreakers, the Goblin Shamans in there. Everyone's just kind of pulling out all the breaks. And unfortunately for the Greenskins, this is the time in which the Squig Hoppers would be 100% necessary. You can see on the high ground, they've actually forgotten about, or maybe the Squig Hoppers just didn't feel like getting involved. They're like, you know what, this may be a losing battle. Let's just let our countrymen go, and we'll just go raid and pillage and have fun and not fight the Dwarves and High Elves. So that's actually what's happening here. But you can see the Longbeards and these Dwarven troops are going to be able to outgrind all these forces down here. Now, there is some really good cycle charge potential with the Blood Knights. They can do a lot of work, but, I think the Winds of Magic must be very low for the vampire counts here, because they've been using Spirit Leeches and Invocations throughout the course of this game. Over here in the distance, you can see Longbeards are able to kind of win those fights. Spearmen are grinding with Skeleton Spearmen, and this is a good play here, just finding the weak link of the army for the High Elves and Dwarves, where they're isolated away from their kin, and just get in there and fight. That's a very, very good play here. The Handmaiden, though, I think is really going to be the game changer here. Balance of power actually going a little bit for the first time in the favor of the Vampires and the Greenskins, which I'm a little bit surprised by, because it looks like the battle's going quite well. Over here, the Vampire of Death is crumbling, negative 38 leadership. Like, he's probably going to be just disappearing and crumbling here, which is going to be nice. And I guess there's still a Vargulf, though. The Vargulf is going to be a big pain in the ass. And the Vampire is going to be charging in with its death throes as it crumbles into antiquity. There it goes, 88, negative 27, and it should be going in a couple seconds. No point in really fighting him, but he does get some pretty good damage on the Rune Lord. The other Dwarven Rune Lord, or that's a Rune Smith, excuse me. This Rune Lord's fighting with the Spearman here. Very strange to see Dwarves and Howls fighting together, but nonetheless, it's happening. Runes of Wrath and Ruin need to be used on those Blood Knights, like I said, because they're just going to be cycle charging and just picking off all of your free assets. And I think the reason why the bounce power is good is because there's 2 full health Squig Hoppers up here, which have been Forsaken. So If those guys do come back in, though, that would be a big difference, because without those Squig Hoppers, I think they're going to lose this fight. Like, the undead forces will be crippled here, but I think at the last second, they're obviously going to realize eventually, like, wait, we have some stuff on the corner of the map. One of them will realize. And I'm sure these two fine gentlemen are, in Discord with one another, so... Norgrimling's Ironbreakers grinding it out, fighting against the Doomdiver Catapult crew and the Orc Archers, and it looks like the Dwarves here are, holding back the Stearnsmen and should be able to win this respective fight. I mean, Stearnsmen are pretty strong for what they do, but Ironbreakers with the Runesmith supporting them, yeah, they're going to be kind of going down here relatively soon, I would imagine. Very, very good play here by the Undead, though. Chasing off all of these elements, making sure that nothing comes back, because the Dwarves do have pretty good leadership, so they can rally, they can come back, and then they can keep fighting once again. Missile attack coming down there from Wurzog. He is able to drop some bacon here on the Handmaiden. The Vampire Caster is dead, but we still do have the Nekark Vampire Lord plus the Vargulf, which are going to be tough cookies to crack. And the Vampires are losing most of their troops, that's for sure. Over here, some Spearmen actually have rallied and should be able to fend off these Fellbats, or at least put up a fight if they are fighting back. Yeah, looks like they are fighting back, but we'll see if they're able to stabilize here. The Rune Lord is going to be getting jumped by the Nekark Vampire Lord, and yeah, that's the big thing, is like the sniping here is going to be big. It's a shame the Handmaiden is on horseback. She's on foot, so she actually has to run, but the Nekark Vampire Lord's actually taking a couple shots here from the Dwarf Runesmith. He's not a bad combatant either. He does have melee attack that I believe is almost over 40. Nekark Vampire Lord hasn't taken any shots yet. Vargulf's doing its thing, but the Handmaiden is going to be coming in, which is going to be a big factor. So obviously some sniping here would be very, very strong. You can see Wurzog's going to be coming in with his Wild Hog. Yeehaw, buddy. Get sweet piggy. And he gets in, and that Runesmith just gets pinballed. But now the Handmaiden's here. The Handmaiden is going to be really good versus all these targets. Is she going to get an attack on Wurzog? She's coming in, but Wurzog is able to get away on his pig, which is really, really important here. So the Dwarves have a bit of a pocket here. Blood Knights are able to do some pretty good charging here, but if they could pin in the Blood Knights and kill them, I think that could be something that could be helpful. But it looks like QSA is in a pretty good position. Nekark Vampire Lord mobility here without any bow pressure is going to be really, really threatening. So here he comes, the Vampire Lord going to be jumping into the Spearmen. The Rune Lord, of course, coming in and getting maybe a kill or two on the Blood Knights if he's able to get a karate kick, of course, as the Dwarves do. And the Blood Knights are actually a little bit mucked up here. They're mucked up on some of the Spearmen, so they're going to be taking probably some casualties from the White Lines if they don't get out of there. But yeah, they're pulling. I'm sure Arista is like spam clicking with all of his might to get out of there, but the Spearmen are actually really mucking those guys up. So we have the Handmaiden left. Wurzog and the Archers are going to be coming in. You can see there's still some Skeleton Spearmen fighting. White Lines will be piling in to fight those guys. But at this point, like, they have to fight shoulder to shoulder. Shoulder to shoulder. Oh, man. And look at this, guys. Up in the hills. Oh, the Squigs are coming. So we have the Night Goblin Squig Hoppers coming in, guys. That is going to be a big game changer. AP, anti-infantry. That should be able to mulch everything here that's left. So now I'm sure there's a sudden kind of resurgence of I don't know what the proper term would be, but probably confidence as the Greenskin forces come back in here, because it was looking pretty grim. Without those Squigs, the bounce power would probably be even. Like, it's a very close battle. The Handmaiden is no joke. She has really, really good combat stats and can certainly mulch and burn through the witches and have all that fun. Squigs are going to be coming in, jumping into Longbeards, so should be able to punish those guys as the Vampire Lord jumps in. Fellbats do clean up those Longbeards right here, and man, this is a battle. We are in a rumble. The Eagles are coming, but Eagles being mushroom Squigs, things like this. Yes, you guys get the picture. So anyways, here you can see that the Rune Lord and company are going to be advancing onto these Greenskins, so the Savage Orc Airboys and company. They're throwing everything at the wall. This is the final battle. But I think that some of the Squigs are going to come around the back. So if Nalth is paying attention, he could probably screen them with the spears. But he does take a charge, but he was braced. Although it was kind of like a side charge. Spears are fighting a Vargulf here, which isn't bad, but they're going to get overrun just by the sheer numbers. And a Rune of Wrath and Ruin is going to be going down over here, it looks like, on top of the Squigs. That's pretty good usage. Squigs are a good target. Blood Knights are still a better target, but yeah, the Blood Knights are up on the high ground. They may have actually been waiting for the Rune of Wrath and Ruin to disappear. And picking Skilled was a pretty good choice, actually. It made for a really, 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 really epic battle. Now, the Rune Lord, I believe, does have the Rune of Hearth and Home, which gives immune to psychology to nearby troops, if I'm not mistaken. So I think, actually, does it? I believe it does. So I think all these troops are actually going to be immune to psychology, so there's not going to be too much cheese coming in with, like, mass terror routes and things like that. Squigs get a nice little charge here. They're going to be taking some damage on the approach, but with good cycle charging, they should be able to pull back. Master Rune of Wrath and Ruin going down on those Squigs. Again, really need to save that for the Blood Knights. Those guys are the real threat here. And the Vargulf here is getting kind of pinned down a little bit, taking some damage from the spears. But the box is holding. The last stand. They might be able to get this game back, guys, even though they're on the ropes. Oh my god. Yeah, the Rune support here is going to be really strong. And the Master Rune of Wrath and Ruin is going to be slowing down the Squig Hoppers. Skeleton Spearmen and the last of the Undead Infantry are going to be breaking. Some Squig Hoppers actually break as well. And man, I don't know, guys. I really don't know. This is like, even though the balance is in the favor of QSA, I don't know. I feel like it's still anyone's game here. The dwarves are just so resilient. Longbeards are just so tanky. There's Ironbreakers here. The Vargulf's going to be coming in as well, taking some damage. And here comes the Vampire Lord. He's going to be jumping in. Very good timing with that rune. The Master Rune of Negation is going to be coming down. And this is a good play here by the Vampires. They really need to snipe out the Handmaiden. The Handmaiden is like one of the biggest issues for the army. Vampire Lord's going to be taking a little bit of damage on the approach, losing a couple squigs as well. Yeah, the rune magic is really good. Baiting out an Invocation of Nehek, which was quite good. And the Vargulf's going to be jumping in, Gorilla Pounding. And yeah, no Terror Route's going to be coming down. Vargulf should take a little bit of poke here as well. Yeah, he's taking damage. He was at 13 leadership for a second. Handmaiden is going to be getting charged. Oh, that could actually be something that could end the game. The Handmaiden of the Everqueen just getting punted by that Vampire Lord. And it seems like the dwarves are kind of just like, the squigs coming back in the fourth quarter are really helping. I mean, even though they're not like a ton of burst damage, it still is enough. Every charge they get is going to be grinding down these forces. The Vampire Lord taking some poke on the way out, but he does have Dark Protection, which gives him melee defense and all kinds of good stats. The Vargulf's here. Wurzog is still here as well, so Wurzog can actually chase off routing units. And it looks like the Vargulf is going to be able to kill... Yeah, that's it. That's probably game. Blood Knight's coming in. Squig's coming in. Oh my god. I don't think the dwarves can rally from this. It's like the Hobbit. Look, the dwarves are rallying to their king. The Squig resurgence. Without the Squigs, this game would be over. Like, this army would win. But the Squigs coming back was clutch. I mean, arguably the game... Oh, and the Handmaiden overextends away from her forces here. The Neckarch Vampire Lord. Invocation of Nehek is active. This bad boy's almost back up to full health. Yeah, I don't know. The Helm's Deep is quite valiant. Spears are going to come in and actually pin in these squigs. This is going to be a really good pick here, but the Neckarch Vampire Lord and the Vargulf being full health, oof, that is painful. I like how the squig hoppers watch this battle for like 20 minutes before engaging. You know, this battle actually has been 20 minutes. Yeah, it's been 20. Yeah, geez, it's been a long one. Blood Knights are coming in for a hammering charge, and they have a huge charge bonus of 78, so it's going to be quite gross. And yeah, it's all, I mean, the charge coming from all sides. The dwarves are very, very valiant, and they're holding well, but the Blood Knights are just too much. A couple small misplays, I think. Like a little bit more efficient ammunition usage on a Lithanar plus Runes of Wrath and Ruin being used on the Blood Knights could have helped a lot. But that was game. And it looks like we have a tie. We have a tie! As QSA is able to tie up that series here. And that's 4-4. So I think that's going to be it for now. Man, that was something, all right. So it's 4-4 after that epic, grueling battle. I think my game just crashed because the players left. That was a fun battle. That was the last stand. The Squigs coming in with the steel chair in the fourth quarter. The pre-War of the Beard kind of goon squad doing some really good work. So it is a tie, it is what it is. Hey, you know what? They deserve it. Both clans fought a very good fight and pulled out their victory. So GG indeed. There's going to be some good sweet pig. There's going to be some sweet pigs going on, I'm sure. And yeah, my game crashed. It looks like. No, I can't. It's been 3 hours, guys. I think that'll be a tie for today. We'll have a rematch sometime in the next couple months. That was something. No, I'm going to rest my hands a little bit, guys. Yeah, I'm going to rest my hands. That was a really fun match. So big thanks to both clans for showing up today. Absolute champions. Thanks to the folks for organizing it. And it was a lot of fun. Yeah, get some rest, guys. It's 2 o'clock. I know it's getting pretty late in Europe on this Sunday night. Special thanks to Garland Green for multiple donations on Super Chat as well as PayPal. Thank you so much. One Man's Way. Matthew Smith with the 10. Michael Isaac, a new member. Jonathan Anderson with the 20 SEK. Holy Pilgrim apparently ate someone's foot. Jonathan Anderson again. Mr. Nyatek for trying to warn him, but alas, it was in vain. Prisoner of Warhammer. The Crab Factor. Magic D with multiple donations. Rain Roth. Pickled Buddha. Rando Howard. BR. Marathi the Phoenix Queen. King Adjazal. Johnny Dingles. Just dingling it all up in here. And of course, Garland in the PayPal. Man, 1,000 people. So if you guys could, please drop a like on the way out. We have over 1,000 people watching right now to close out the stream. A like does, of course, help quite a bit because then YouTube's like, hey, people like this video. Let's show it to new people who might be interested in Warhammer. So from a business perspective, it's great. Very well played both those clans. We're going to have a rematch down the road. It'll be good. Stay tuned for that. And yeah, thank you guys for joining. There's going to be some really, really awesome content coming up soon. I'm very excited between the World Cup, new DLC coming on the 11th, all kinds of crazy stuff. ECL 3 starting. Eternal Challenger League Season 3 is going to be starting as soon as the DLC drops, probably a couple days after. So we're going to be getting it going. I know, Ian, don't give me those puppy eyes, man. Don't leave us. I have to, man. My hands are getting a little bit sore. My feet are a little tired from standing for 3 hours. So I'm going to kind of just go hang out with my lovely wife now and do all that stuff. So guys, again, thank you so much for joining. You guys rock. Thank you for your donations, your likes. Just thank you for watching. It was a blast. We burned through the witches, slammed through the ditches, all that good stuff. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much. If some of the mods in chat could actually drop a link to the Discord channel before we go, that would be much appreciated. And we'll see you guys on the other side. Take care.